More wins, more fun. The Milwaukee Brewers return home to American Family Field, starting a 3-game weekend set tonight with the Minnesota Twins. It's MLB's geographic rivals weekend. So the Brewers and Twins squaring off, the White Sox and Cubs, Mets and Yankees, all kinds of geographic rivals facing each other all around the country. Brewers-Twins 3-game weekend set begins tonight. Chad Patrick on the mound for the Crew. 7:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage starts just after 6:30 right here on Madison's home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. High school baseball. Last night, the Cardinals strikeout cancer game between Sun Prairie East and Middleton featured on Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania. Watch the game broadcast back. I had the call of it along with Mark Tauscher. Wilde and Tausch coming up next. You can also catch a full replay of the game coming up tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN as part of Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania. The latest in the Green Bay Packers defensive coaches speaking in Titletown yesterday. Wilde and Tausch starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com. 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde.
There aren't any Jasons 12 and under. That's a dead name.
Packers Hall of Famer, Mark Tauscher.
How many kids do you hear, hey, Marky, it might be as almost to the point of Ruth?
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
You love that name so much, you don't even go by it.
On 100.5 ESPN.
If you call me Mark, I'm fine. I like my name. I like my name a lot.
The ESPN Wisconsin app.
Wilde and Tausch.
And ESPN Madison on YouTube.
It's Wilde and Tausch, isn't it?
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Friday edition. I got to listen and watch an outstanding broadcast of a baseball game yesterday. Although I must admit, I was a little bit concerned at one point during the game that someone had taken a ball in a bad location. And the color guy did a great job of describing it. Edition. The Packers offseason continues, and apparently Bob Moore is not just a favorite of Mark Tauscher. Apparently Derek Ansley also is using his wise words of wisdom on a certain cornerback that may or may not be on the team this year. Edition. And the Feel Good Friday edition. We always wrap up the week with Feel Good Friday. I'm going to tease you. I'm going to remind you again because he's a good friend of ours. Mark Osiki's Casting for Kids event is coming up, I believe, tomorrow. So make sure you check out casting4kids.org to support the AmFam Children's Hospital and the UW Carbone Cancer Center edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. I just blew it again. That's old school. On the ESPN Wisconsin app, the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable ESPN Wisconsin app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and maybe this is why I was a little bit off my game there. I am told by sources close to the program.
Oh, boy.
That Mark Tauscher is in an undisclosed location. And I'm quoting Jesse here. He's on video, and wait until you see it. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you in like a canary cage?
I figured you guys would say, how there's that meme with the older grandma that's in a cage and you can't let her out until the Cubs win Brewers win a World Series, whatever it is. I am not in a cage, but this does have a bird cage feel to it.
It very much does.
Yeah, I like it. I think this might be one of my favorite video setups that we've had. Hey, I didn't forget my iPad this time. That's a win.
Great news.
I am 1,000% in support of that. Well done. I'm proud of you. Good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
And look, as absolute for those of you, look, I'm not telling you how to consume our show. I am appreciative of the fact, however you consume it, whether it's on YouTube, on the Twitter video, wherever it might be. I love that you listen, so thank you. But if you're not watching on video, this is one of the great things about Tausch when he's on location. Perhaps you remember the 2 months he spent in Sonoma and the various camera angles we had for that. Have you strapped the camera on the head of like a squirrel who is peeking over the wall at you?
Here's the deal. You guys always say I'm too far away because I set it up because I don't want the iPad like flipping over. So there's a setup. I want to be outside because it's a gorgeous morning. I'm in a little screened in porch and I have a chair, but the chair's too low. So I have to prop it up. And there's a nice pillow because it's a
pillow.
That's a Pella.
It looks like a rock formation, so it does not look like a comfortable pillow.
Listen, I love the fact that you guys it's a guess your backdrops type deal. So I have the pillow, and then I put the iPad on top of that, leaning against the chair to get the angle so you can see my face. And that's, I think,
your best side.
I mean, yeah, that's where we're at. So it's always a battle. I had about 15 minutes. I was trying to piece together what would be the best. I had a bar stool that I was thinking about putting it on. I think this is what I came up with for the best setup.
Well, we're happy to have you. We are appreciative of you being connected to video. Again, you can listen over terrestrial radio. You can stream radio. Whatever you do, we are thankful. But if you do have the chance to check out Squirrel Cam, I definitely recommend it as he peeks over the wall. All right. Do you have something like special going on?
Sure.
Or, I mean, I don't want to, I didn't know you were going to be on location, so I don't want to ask, much like I did with Derek Ansley yesterday. I don't want to put you in a bad spot, DA. Can I ask you a yes or no question?
DA?
I do.
You call him DA. Okay.
I do. Yeah. Are you on some sort of a mission?
Retreat. I would say this is a retreat.
Oh,
like a nice fun. It's a nice fun little 2-day stretch. We're doing some golf at a great golf course, and we're gonna have some fun. We got some nice stuff planned. It's gonna be a nice couple of days for Old T in a beautiful spring weekend. That's what Old T's got going on.
Well, you earned it with your performance last night.
Oh my God, I can't even tell you. So I have said this, and I said this last night to Hunter, who's done a great job. Our prep stuff in Madison is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the coverage that we do with the dean, who knows everything about everything high school sports wise. I couldn't believe the game was going on. I'm in Sun Prairie last night. It's about 5:00. The game in Middleton starts at 6. Jesse and Dennis's pregame coverage starts at 5:45. I can't believe there's a game. We're getting hit with a hailstorm. Like hail is pelting. Eleanor's game gets canceled. All of the Sun Prairie stuff is canceled. So I'm just assuming, all right, there's going to be a game. I text Jesse, hey, what's the deal? He goes, sunny here, game on. And I'm thinking, what? So I get in my Chevy Tahoe from Zimbrick, who is a proud partner of last night's event. And I start trudging over there. And one of the roads is closed. So I get there. I'm talking right before tip. And I don't know where Jesse is set up because it's over in Middleton. So I don't know that as like I would at Sun Prairie. There's a press box. And Jason, if I'm telling you, we were, I got the bad wheel. It's you got to hike up stadium steps and no problem. But not
on your Tahoe. On you got a bad wheel.
Yes, the Tahoe
Yeah,
wheels are
important.
fantastic.
Yeah, that's a key.
But-
That's key. Yep. Mhm.
Great drop, Jesse. And if it was, the service team over at Zimbrick and on Sun Prairie is phenomenal.
That's why they sponsor the prep coverage here on ESPN Wisconsin.
I look up, and they're like, "Oh, there's your broadcast team." And I look, and it looks like they're in the middle of, those storms where the reporters are like flying. There's a 40-mile-an-hour wind, and you found the highest spot in Middleton. I think it's the highest spot in the whole city.
Granddad's Bluff.
It is. So as I'm walking up, my buddy Timmy Cleary, his group is a big partner. He's Mr. Middleton. I'm walking up with him and talking. And as we walk up, the national anthem starts playing. So, we stand there, we're, doing our thing. And Tim's like, oh, here it is. So thanks, Tim. I'm walking, and Jesse and Hunter look disheveled. But all of a sudden, right after the national anthem, there was a paper tornado. Jesse, for some reason, thought that because he's in the highest peak of Middleton, the papers from all of his prep and all of the papers that I was supposed to have, they go flying out Middleton. I think it's Otto Breitenbach Stadium. It goes flying everywhere. Otto Breitenbach,
Love him.
My great Aunt Gladys, who lived on Breeze Terrace, who is where we would go and stop after games. So it all comes together. But the papers go flying.
Well, wait a minute. No. You never said what Aunt Gladys's connection was to Otto.
She was great friends with Otto Breitenbach, and she used to talk about Otto
she
Breitenbach.
was.
Pals, okay.
Don't you imply anything about my Aunt Gladys, Jason. That is not where you need to live. I don't know. I didn't ask any. They were family friends. God, you are a real dirtbag. No, you
I didn't say anything.
Real dirtbag.
Jesse, was he implying things about my Aunt Gladys?
Team Glotto,
Yes.
yeah.
He's implying. Don't you dare sewer my Aunt Gladys. So, anyways, by the way, put Aunt Gladys up because I got a story about her and Vitaly Pisetsky that'll blow your mind. That's another story for another day.
Can't wait.
Okay.
So, anyways, the papers go flying.
A lot of friends for Aunt
Ticks.
Gladys.
So we are now. Dennis is down smartly in the enclosed press box with a scorebook, being a pro. I get up, never done a baseball game in my life, as you could probably tell as you're listening. And Jesse, the game starts, and Jesse has no papers. There's nothing. Luckily, the Middleton youngsters crew, the little leaguers and whatnot, they go around Otto Breitenbach Stadium and are grabbing all the papers and bring them back up to Jesse. So shout out to Middleton's youth baseball program. Jesse starts announcing the game. Jump in, Jesse, as you would.
Okay, so first of all, I do want to thank those kids because I didn't get a chance to do that last night because they delivered the papers back in the middle of the bottom of the first inning. So they handed the papers off and ran back to their seats wherever they were. Those kids saved our broadcast last night.
No, they didn't.
Yes, we were dead in the water without what
were. I knew Sun Prairie inside out.
You knew nothing about Middleton. I had
Nothing.
all my Middleton notes were gone. I had nothing.
Jesse, hold up. I knew about the guy that used to catch their 3-hitter, who's a GRB kid, and he's a really good player. He's going to play football. He's a football guy.
Tyler Vogt.
Okay?
Yeah.
Vogt.
Yeah, I know so much about him. I don't know his name.
I knew
Last
his name was
Vogt.
Vogt. I didn't know his first name. But then I knew that their pitcher's a stud, and he dealt a heck of a game. And I knew what happened 2 days before in this exact game.
We wouldn't have been able to say who was batting. We wouldn't have been able to say anything about them. It would have been a debacle.
It would have not been good.
Those kids saved our broadcast last night. Those four kids that delivered those papers. I can't believe it was angelic how they just appeared in the bottom of the first inning. No, for me it was.
Angelic.
Because these papers fly away, and now I wasn't just careless. The national anthem was going on, and I set my phone and our big roll of tape that kind of always holds everything down, set that all on top of the papers during the anthem. We're standing there, hand over the heart, and the biggest gust of wind of the night comes blowing through. My phone hits the railing of this level 3 press box. It should have gone over, and I should have had to stop at Verizon on the way home last night. It ended up falling in the corner of our platform.
You're telling me the windstorm moved your phone? It flew your phone.
My phone,
It caught the paper and lifted up the phone.
The phone flew, and it hit the railing, and it landed in the corner by the camera where Hunter was also trying to hold onto the camera because he's trying. That almost blew over the side of the press box.
That was something else, too. Hunter was battling. He was battling. I was
going to say the video was a little shaky. Now I know why.
Baseball's a radio sport anyway, Jason. Everybody knows.
Some folks were saying it was the Goodyear blimp coverage of the Middleton.
You guys were way up there. There's no as
it
one
was
of the
Mount Everest
viewers.
it was the Mount Everest of Middleton. Yes, last night.
Matt.
So Jason. Anyways, we get to the start of the game, and obviously the weather threw things off. It was the game had gotten postponed slightly, an hour and a half.
That's called a delay.
Jesse starts announcing the wrong team. He's Sun Prairie's kid, Sogstad, their leadoff hitter. He gets a base hit, and he's saying, "Hey, Guerrero with a base hit." And I'm like, there ain't no Guerrero on Sun Prairie East. And then Jesse's looking like, "Oh, shucks, I said the wrong team. I had the Middleton team up." The game's in Middleton, bro. And he's announcing Middleton's kid. That's a fair assessment.
I had no notes. They all blew away right before first pitch. I was going straight from memory when I had written the lineups down 20 minutes ago.
And they're all Cardinals, by the way.
At least
There's a lot of Cardinals.
And the Sun Prairie jerseys, let's talk to somebody about those because you couldn't see the numbers on them at all from where we were.
Just wait a second. You're going to get after Stelzy?
Yeah.
They're the great embroiderer because you don't like his jerseys that they're putting?
Stelzy, the great embroiderer.
He is the great embroiderer.
If we're going to call another Sun Prairie East baseball game someday, which Lord knows we need a do-over after how last night went, we need some legible numbers if we're going to be calling it from Mount Middleton or wherever we were up top there last night.
Yeah, I honestly, and this is not to toot our own horn. I thought we did a fantastic job with the broadcast. I do. Now, some people might disagree, but for the circumstances we were thrown in, I loved it. I had a ton of fun. It was great. The only thing that sucked was that Middleton won from my end. But for Middleton, it was a
way to be unbiased.
Well, I said going in I was going to be biased. I didn't wear the Sun Prairie Cardinal hat.
Oh, good job.
I was going to. Yeah. I wore a Pickler hat because I wanted to promote Pickler. But also, well, it's true. Now today I got the Cardinals. The hat that we had last night.
Not that we can see it.
What do you mean? Right there. See?
Not from that angle.
By the way, Stelzy, the great embroiderer, this is one of his deals. So lay off of Stelz, Jesse.
So which inning was it? I'm going back, and if you missed the game, Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Oh yeah. By the way, Hunter, I want to say this. Hunter is great. He's great with the video. I don't know how to put links in stuff. That's a weakness of mine. So I put out that I'm going to be doing the game. I'm excited. And I said, Hunter, where do I put? He goes, just put ESPN Madison YouTube. So I said, you want to do that so you can link it. He puts the tweet out there, and there ain't no links anywhere to be found on that link.
Yeah, somebody else had to swoop in and post a link for you.
I had, in fairness to Hunter, I had plans to tweet this out from the Wilde and Tausch accounts.
That would have been nice.
All this stuff. I couldn't take my phone out of my pocket because it would have meant I had to take a hand off of the binder and the papers after we got them back.
You act like we were in the middle of a tornado. It was windy. It wasn't blowing a...
Did you see the news? There was a tornado in Wisconsin last night.
Indeed.
We were kind of in the middle of a tornado. It wasn't the tornado.
How heavy is your phone? Your phone is not...
Not heavy enough, clearly.
This was not picking up rocks and firing them at our face. It wasn't that windy.
Again, as I look at the replay, which you can find on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel, it is definitely Skycam. I mean, it is. You are up there.
Up in the 400s.
If we could have found a higher mountain, we would have went there. And this was, for a second, I thought we were going to have to get oxygen tanks.
And nice. And then secondly, all you have to do is watch like one at bat, and the camera moves in a manner that clearly is not like Hunter, being jittery. It is the wind taking the. So I believe, Jesse, that his phone was also uplifted by the wind.
The phone didn't fly away. This wasn't like a helicopter phone.
You wouldn't know. You barely got there on time for the game.
I got there right on time.
Good one.
Good one, yeah.
So who was the player that, and I'm quoting now, this was from the color analyst. I don't know if it got him in the you-know-whats. That might have been my favorite part of the broadcast. Turned out he got hit in the foot, by the way. Farther down his body than the you-know-whats.
Jesse, I've learned something about Jesse's play-by-play. If he doesn't know, he still rolls with it. He will continue on and say, there's a pinch hitter up. Guy hits a rope down the left field line. And he says it's Troy Turk, a buddy of mine. He played football at Wisconsin. His kid plays first base. He hits a liner down the left. He goes, Turk, what a liner. Turk's a right-handed hitter. We had a freshman kid in that's batting
again.
Left-handed.
Had the lineups, it blew away. Didn't get the lineup back.
We got the lineups back.
I didn't. No, I had a different sheet I couldn't look at because of that. Also,
but
if
then
the
he
great
says
embroiderer had some more clearer numbers, it would have been easier to see. It wasn't Turk.
Wow, you're getting after Stelzy. It's unbelievable. All in all, man, it was a ton of fun. But the catcher for Sun Prairie gets hit. And I saw the ball, and I thought it hit him in the shin/foot. But Jesse immediately thinks he got hit in the you-know-whats. And the kid goes down. And the kid's tough. As I said, tough as a $2 steak. Catchers are tough. He is a really good catcher.
Uh-huh.
And he is laying there in misery. And then I said, the umps and the catcher's got a good relationship. If an ump gets drilled, the catcher will go out and give him a minute. The ump did the same thing for him. He got hit in the shin, but Jesse made it out like he got hit in the you-know-whats. And he didn't get hit in the you-know-whats.
Well, not all catchers are tough, I can tell you that. What
does that mean?
Because I was a catcher, and you don't think I'm tough.
You were a catcher?
You caught?
Mm-hmm.
I guess you got that stocky backside that you're looking for in a catcher.
Thank you very much. It's one of the nicest things you've ever said to me.
I know.
Yes, I do love the fact that Jesse got that play right. It reminds me of the old story about Harry Carey, who obviously, like Jesse, a great play-by-play man.
Oh, yeah.
Not paying attention during a game, or maybe it had a couple of beverages, and blurting out on WGM, why is Kingman hitting left-handed?
That literally is exactly what happened last night.
Tough circumstances. Those were the toughest circumstances.
So Jesse,
that I've ever called a
normally,
game in.
Normally, I don't want to correct but it was such a big moment because it was one of Sun Prairie's last opportunities to tie the game.
It was the right thing for you to correct it. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I don't like doing that, but that was a case where I felt like.
I also think.
In fairness, Turk is a big kid. He plays first base. This is not a bigger kid. You know what I mean?
I think in normal circumstances,
we know what you mean.
We would have been able to clearly identify that right away. But because we were in the 400 level, because the wind was flying, and I didn't have an actual scorecard to keep track of anything, and I was like sifting through the papers was hard enough because you tried to flip one over, and it would just go and they're like rip. So tough night.
So obviously Strelzy is embroidery royalty. It does sound like maybe these jerseys were like those Packers throwbacks where you couldn't read the numbers. They had like the number in a circle.
You don't put that on Stells. Put that on who designed the jersey.
Wait a minute. I'm setting something up here.
Oh.
Well, is he the great embroiderer or the great benefactor?
So Strelzy is embroidery royalty. As we learned yesterday, if you reference a restaurant and say royalty that has ice cream,
multiple layers to
I'm
that.
still dumbfounded
confusion.
by that.
But when it comes to windows, Gina Della is the queen, and the royalty, of course, is Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And there is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors. We could have used the window last night, stop Jesse's phone from supposedly flying away. There is no better time to upgrade your windows and doors than right now, because Pella is offering up to 6 years of 0% financing. Set up your free in-home consultation. You commit to nothing at this point. They'll listen to your vision and suggest the Pella materials and customizations to make it a reality. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Certain restrictions do apply. This deal ends at the end of May, so visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Looking at the live chat replay, I see our guy Clayton, Packer fan, Total Access, chimed in, watched the game with you guys. He even points out after Middleton took a 2-1 lead that the wind looks like it's really picking up there. Again, defending Jesse. And Levi jumped in there. Levi suggested that you and I call a game together, Tausch. I have no play-by-play skills, but maybe a 3-man booth might be fun.
So let's do this. Next year, the game will be in Sun Prairie, the same thing. I think Jesse's the play-by-play, and that we both do color commentary.
We'll see if we can make that happen.
Jason could be our field room. He could be our Sophia Minard down in the dugout.
Yeah. We get get you a Gatorade shower afterwards.
You love interviews. Telling
I
the
do
other
love
stories.
interviews.
Telling stories.
I love that. That's an additional layer to. But in all seriousness, you guys did a great job. If you are a Sun Prairie or a Middleton fan, or just a fan of high school baseball, it's a really good game. And if you want to watch it back, you can find it on our YouTube channel for ESPN Madison. We will get into the Packers and the offseason and everything else that we have neglected so far today. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. National and local awards proving Siding Unlimited will deliver peace of mind. Looking for inspiration to replace your windows, roofing, siding, and doors? Stop by our amazing showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. And definitely check out sidingunlimited.com. We are Siding Unlimited.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
This update sponsored by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you.
The Milwaukee Brewers have partnered with GovX to offer 50% off select tickets to active duty military, veterans, first responders, government employees, and teachers at Sunday through Thursday games, courtesy of Vortex. Visit brewers.com/govx.
Join UW Credit Union at uwcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app, customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
'Cause I'm a hazard to myself.
Continuing with we hear the birds in the background, and you look like you're in a bird cage. So this is a really interesting scene and a little distracting, frankly. Tausch, I don't want to get into this now. I want to be able to spend a little more time on it, but I did ask DA, as I call him, about Jaire Alexander yesterday, and him sharing the fact that that he texts him every single morning. Before we discuss the significance of that, I did write for channel3000.com about how they have other options if ultimately it doesn't work out. Do you like what this team has done, not just at corner, because we'll get into that, but across the board in terms of the options they have? Like, they have options on the offensive line. They have options at wide receiver. They have options at safety. We were talking to Ryan Downard yesterday. I mean, they've got all kinds of guys that can play and did play next to Xavier McKinney. Because I'm wondering if, for you, having played in the league, you view that as they've done a great job of creating a bunch of depth, or they got a lot of guys that are basically the same and they don't have enough studs.
Well, I think the goal is that you have these young players develop into studs, and you always want competition. That's been a cycle thing. But yeah, at some point, and I could go with two different analogies here. You kind of talked about the options, and you get your two hole cards, and you hope to have more options. You don't want to be just shooting for a gut shot or a gut shot straight, or you're hoping for this. You want to have options, but I think it's more going back to my days on the dairy farm back in Millador. Milk is great, man. Like, I think everybody, I love milk. Farmers love milk. That's how you make your money. But at some point, you know where you get that good cash? The cream, the butter fat, and that rises up, and that's where you make that great ice cream. That's where you make butter, or you get all the good stuff. Eventually, you got to have some players rise to the top and be difference makers, because it's nice. You can't have difference makers at every spot. Eventually, with the salary cap, it just doesn't work. You need to have your guys, and you need to have a good chunk of your bulk tank is going to be milk. But you got to have that cream that comes up to the top that brings that sweet, sweet butter / championship. Some of these guys, if it's Evan Williams, Xavier McKinney was cream. He rose to the top. Now you have these young guys that had some nice, you started churning a little bit. You got the butter churn out. I feel like this porch that I'm on is perfect for a butter churn. You butter churn a little bit, and you start developing, and then all of a sudden it turns. Evan Williams would be a guy that I think you're looking at making that jump. Now, if you don't and you keep sitting there, what happens to milk if it doesn't mature? You have a shelf life.
Yeah, curdles.
And you don't want that. So at some point, you need to continue to bring in new milk. You got to continue that process. And sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it rises to the top. And I think for the Green Bay Packers, you want to continue to give yourself guys that are in the mix to be that cream. Sometimes it'll happen. Sometimes it won't. You're not going to have a bulk tank full of cream. That's not what we're looking for. But we need more cream to rise to the top of that big, beautiful bulk tank that we call the Green Bay Packers.
God, you love that analogy.
Well,
I mean,
is
there anything you love more than that? Love all your analogies. Ice cream on top of ice cream. We all know that there's been some classics. Is the bulk tank cream rising to the top? And the butter fat, is that the GOAT? Is that the GOAT of Tausch analogies?
So I don't know if it's my best, but it's my favorite because it takes me to a time of yesteryear. It takes me back to the days when I'm kicking field goals between two silos and I'm playing baseball on the farm with the Schmidt kids and, hitting turnaround jumpers over a Leland tractor. Like those days are great core memories for me. And the bulk tank is what drove those memories. The bulk tank is what feeds families, farm families. That's why I enjoy it so much.
And the smell of manure is the smell of money, and Grouch the cat chasing away the mice.
No, catching the duck before Thanksgiving.
Aunt Gladys hanging out with whoever she was with.
Apparently Vitaly Posetsky and Otto Breitenbach.
My mom is gonna have some serious questions about what the hell I'm talking about today. I feel fairly certain about that.
Well, I'm glad you could take that walk down memory lane with the bulk tank. You can both live in the past and in the future when you talk about Hard Rock Casino, because we were just there last week, and we're going to be there again next month.
We are, and man, we love our new partnership with Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Features over 175,000 square feet of gaming and entertainment space, including more than 1,300 slot machines, 50 live table games, a sports book, and a rock shop. And if you're hungry, the options, diverse dining options at the Hard Rock Cafe, Council Oak steaks and seafood, bricked Italian kitchen, and I am excited to try that UU Noodle Bar. I love a good noodle bar in casinos. I love them. I do. Hard Rock Casino Rockford, right off I-90. I think it took Jesse and Jesse drives really slow, a little under an hour to get down to Rockford, a premier entertainment destination just off of I-90. Big old, beautiful, bold, purple gold guitar. You'll see it off the left-hand side on your way to Rockford.
It's amazing how a week ago you were so complimentary of how well I drove that day, and now a week later,
interesting.
Well, you did try.
Slow driver.
No, Jesse, my point is,
didn't tweet out the link.
If you really
lied about his phone.
If you really want to push it, you can get there maybe a little bit less than an hour. It was all that was. I wasn't a shot at you. You want to be. I want to be in a car with a safe, conservative driver. I'm not interested in Michael Andretti taking me to Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Well, that'd be kind of cool. Get there in 25
You're going to
minutes
turn down
so.
a ride with Andretti to Hard Rock? I don't think so.
Well, I don't know. I can't,
only if Andretti agreed not to stop to pee.
I'll tell you this. I mean, if it's a normal, like, Chevy Tahoe, yeah. If it's one of those Formula One cars, unfortunately, I think old T, that's not a good fit for me.
Not with that bad wheel, and we're not talking about the vehicle. All right. So I want to get into what Derek Ansley had to say yesterday about Jaire Alexander when I gave him the opportunity to do basically what Jeff Hafley did, which was say, I'm not answering that question, Wilde, sorry. And he didn't. He gave us a little bit of insight. I also want to get into, and I know Jesse's got some stuff lined up audio-wise, this Caleb Williams story with the Bears and what he said in this book. I am very intrigued to get Tausch's take on that. Plus, we've got trivia and the Packers revoking the season tickets of a guy who says he was not attending games but selling his tickets because his parents were both ill and was not able to come to the games. All those stories still ahead, plus trivia. Lots to do with the birdcage, Mark Tauscher. It's Wilde and Tausch.
The Subway Series returns. Juan Soto makes his return to the Bronx when the Mets face Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees. Coverage begins Saturday at 12:30 Eastern and Sunday at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Me Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you. Spring is here, and your local IKEA store is rolling the savings outdoors for their annual sidewalk sale. Visit IKEA Schaumburg, Bolingbrook, or Oak Creek from May 9th through the 26th for a wide variety of furniture and home furnishing accessories at big discounts. New products are being added throughout the sale, so stop in often, and don't miss IKEA's Friday Mystery Deals May 16th and 23rd, available in-store to IKEA family members. Not an IKEA family member yet? Sign up for free at IKEA.com/US. Save big at the IKEA Annual Sidewalk Sale, going on now through May 26th.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
So the defensive coaches talked yesterday, wrapping up our assistant coach access for the offseason. And I'll tell you this, DeMarcus Covington's an impressive dude. I don't know if he'll get anything more out of Rashawn Gary and Lucas Van Ness and Devontae Wyatt or not, but he made a very good first impression. And for a guy who played wide receiver at the Division 1 AA level, to be coaching defensive line and have had success doing so intrigues me greatly. But I did want to, and look, I know I can be annoying. I'm aware.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But I can't, I have to do my job, and the Jaire Alexander situation is part of this equation with this team this offseason. It's not the only storyline, but it is a storyline. And obviously, when I asked Jeff Hafley, what would it mean for this defense if you guys get things worked out and Jaire is back, and he punted, I get it. I understand why he wouldn't have wanted to answer it. I would have liked him to have answered it. I thought it was interesting that he didn't when it was framed in a way that he could say, if it happens, we're obviously a better team when we have them, and then we've also got other guys we really like. But he just punted instead. So when I asked Derek Ansley yesterday, DA, about it, I know you don't like nicknames.
No, I like nicknames. You haven't even met the guy. The first conversation you had with him.
Derek Ansley was on the staff last year. I've met him. DeMarcus Covington's the guy I don't know.
DC. Okay,
well, I didn't call him that. I don't know what he goes by.
Oh, I thought you were okay.
No, it's DA last year.
That's better. Okay, that's
defensive
better.
passing game coordinator, cornerbacks
talking
coach.
About Covington. Okay, all right.
So it's still annoying.
Kind of like messing up which leadoff hitter you're talking about, huh?
No, not even close.
Last name vote. But I didn't want to put him in a bad spot, and so I said, "Look, can I ask you a yes or no question? I don't want to put you in a bad spot." He said, "Sure." I said, "Have you had consistent contact with Jaire throughout the offseason?" And he actually said, "Yeah, I text him every day, every morning."
Yeah, that's what you said.
Might be a Bob Moore quote. He did not actually say that, but that's where Tausch gets his from the NFLPA. It might be a Bible passage or a scripture passage, but I thought it was telling, Tausch, that coaches at least, I don't know about Goody. I don't know. I would assume he and Russ Ball have had their interactions with John Thornton, who is Jaire's agent. Okay. But I think it's telling that I know Matt LaFleur has stayed in contact with him as well. Mm-hmm. I think it's telling that they have tried to keep that going and keep him part of the team. He is, after all, as Goody said, still on our roster right now. How do you view what the coaches have done based on those pieces of information with a guy that we still don't know what the end game will end up being?
Yeah, I think it's obviously important to keep a relationship with guys, and whether you're playing. I mean, I still text with Campy, and that's been 15 years. There is that bond, but let's not kid ourselves. I'm not texting James Camp and he's not texting me. You're going to, when you have this time of uncertainty, I think one of the big things you want to make sure the player feels is loved. And when a player is trying to figure out, it's going to come down to money. It always does. But in this case, there's also the feeling of, boy, they want me. And the money tells you that they want you, but then there's also the communication and the relationship that you need to forge and continue to nurture in order to keep players to be at their best. And I think one of the most underrated parts of coaching, there's a lot of coaches have drills, a lot of coaches have a lot of knowledge on things and they can adjust. But I think one of the most important things is understanding who your player is and what drives them. What does this player need? I liked getting a kick into Keister. I thought that was fine. Some guys, it's got to be all pat into Keister. You need to figure out, what does this player need? How can I get the best out of them? And the only way to do that is to understand their personality and understand what makes them tick. The why of why they're doing what they're doing. And good coaches now, you have to take that up another notch in order to get that to the point where you're going to get the best out of the players that may or may not even be on your team. And I'll be curious if Jaire ends up getting released and goes somewhere else. Will DA keep sending those text messages? I would venture to say no, probably because there's tampering rules and other things.
Sure.
But that's just the nature of the beast. That doesn't mean they won't keep their relationship. But make no mistake about what it tells me is that the coaching staff would love to see Jaire Alexander back.
That's what
It also tells me that with the length of what's going on and with the roster bonus, with workouts and things like that, it must be stickier than maybe we think. And I think Jaire is probably looking at this and saying, I'll give, but I'm not going to give everything. And I think the Packers are looking at it like, this is what we're going to do. If you are fine with that, great. If you're not, we are fine moving on. That to me is where this situation is at.
Well, if they do move on, and again, I understand that, believe me, because I talk about it all the time across all of our different shows, so I get tired of it too. I've never quite, and tell me if I'm not, I'm being palmy, prisoner of the moment here. I don't remember a player on the roster under contract, a saga like this going on as long as it has, in which it's not him holding out. Like, that's not what this is. This isn't him holding out and not showing up because he wants his contract adjusted. It's literally the team agreeing to parameters with his agent that he is not coming in for the offseason program because they don't want him to blow his Achilles and be on the hook for his for his salary for this year. And him not, like, you always say that Tomlin says, I want volunteers, not hostages. I wouldn't go so far to say that he's a hostage, but he's in kind of a weird situation, and it just doesn't end. We're on the verge of June here, and he's still here. Do you remember anything like this?
I don't. I think here's the scenario, and again, you can only words are great, they're cute, and that we talk about it, but the actions here tell me that there is at least some softening on both sides, because if it was the case where Jaire felt as if the Packers are doing him wrong and not giving him an opportunity to go somewhere else, and he doesn't have any interest in being back here, his agent would have him at the doors of 1265 today. Let me in. I'm under contract. I'm going in. And if you're not, get rid of me. That would be I need to make a move play. And Green Bay would then have to release him. Or figure something else out. They're not going to pay him the agreed upon salary in the contract. That's not going to happen. So it tells me that the lines of communication have been good, and at least Jaire's team feels as if things are trending in a way that could end to a result that makes him some money and makes him at least somewhat whole. And until that happens, there is no deadline trigger point monetarily. And when you don't have that in this league, things drag out. So the old deadline spur action bit is 100% true. The thing here is there really ain't a deadline until training camp comes. And even then, Green Bay could say, you're good. We're not going to fine you. But then there is this money component that Jaire, if I'm Jaire and I'm looking at it like I need to be 80% to get a $500,000 workout bonus, you're gonna have to tie me down and not let me get in there to get that $500K.
Right. All right. If it doesn't work out and he doesn't come back, and this is what I wrote about at Channel 3000 today, look, they've got a lot of young guys that they're intrigued by, right? Kalen King, DA was very excited about him yesterday. We saw Carrington Valentine at the Tundra Trio during the draft. He did a Q&A with Strofe. I like his potential, and I like what he's done so far. The guy started 22 games in the NFL, including 3 playoff games. So he's in a good spot. They did draft Micah Robinson in the 7th round. They've got this kid out of UNLV, Jonathan Baldwin, who plays safety. He plays corner. He's a safety. He's a corner. He's a breath mint. But this is really going to be about how good Nate Hobbs is, who they've paid to come in and be a versatile inside-out piece. We asked Jeff Hafley about him. We will hear what Jeff Hafley had to say and get Tausch's thoughts on him because he got a contract that says he's a starter. I am very curious to see if he makes the jump that some of the other free agents they've signed that didn't have huge proven track records wound up becoming in the Goody era. We'll talk about him next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. To the next adventure, Kamari McGee on the podium at UW-Madison's student-athlete grad ceremony. Emotional and inspirational. The 3-year Badger guard recollecting on his Madison memories, audio courtesy Badger Athletics.
My first year here was probably the toughest year of my life. After being known as a top player on my previous teams, it was hard adjusting to the new role that I was given. If it were not for the support from my loved ones, teammates, and coaches, I would not be in this position that I'm in today. I hope everyone leaves here proud of all of their accomplishments. And last but not least, on Wisconsin.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on social media for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
This is Kyle Bruston Nortman's Brad Nortman. You hear me talk about Carbless and their refreshing flavors all the time. One of my favorites is watermelon, and Carbless just dropped the Watermelon Vodka Cocktail 4-pack. Perfect for chilling, grilling, or game day thrills. You know the drill. Zero sugar, unlimited flavor. Enjoy clean, crisp refreshment without the guilt. That's what Carbless does. Find the new Watermelon 4-packs wherever you get your Carbless. Crack open the taste of summer and get your bliss on.
Bandana? Check. Boots? Check. Gloves? Check. As a motorcycle rider in Wisconsin, you may go to great lengths to protect your image. Just be sure you're protecting yourself, too. Wear a Department of Transportation-approved helmet. Perform safety checks on your motorcycle. Know the traffic laws and don't take risks. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together, we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but a way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for well over 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
When it comes to free agent signings, obviously there are seismic signings, right? Like,
I had a quick question for you before we hit this seismic signings.
Well, this definitely is not one of them.
Four Seasons room or screened-in porch as a Wisconsinite? You pick
What's
one.
the
Which one
difference?
Screened-in porch, you're not going out there in the winter.
Yeah, screened-in porch has like the air flowing through it all the time, as opposed to the Four Seasons room.
Did you really just ask what's the difference?
I don't know what a Four Seasons room is. I don't have one.
So like a sunroom, for some people know it as a Four Seasons room, where it's like, I don't know, it's separate, not separate from the house. I don't know how to describe that.
It's almost as if it's hard to know what it is.
It's an added-on room that like you can close a door to, and it's like separate if it gets a little colder, a little warmer,
but it's
depending
not
on the season.
Insulated like a regular room is?
Correct.
Yeah, a little different. Yeah.
No, it's
it's Four Seasons, but you're going to freeze your ass off in the winter
you need a
if you're in it?
fireplace. You're not going to do a Four Seasons room and not put a fireplace in there. So yeah,
okay.
I don't think you can do a fireplace. Can you do a fireplace in? Well, you're not going to go out there in the winter then. And actually, I would argue a Four Seasons the best time is the winter because you got that cold air. And you'll get all snuggly with the fireplace. I think here's the deal, and why I asked that. If you're on a lake, you go screened-in porch. I don't think you do screened-in porch unless you're a lake. Tell me I'm crazy.
So are you all right, a few things. First of all, we'll talk about Nate Hobbs another time because it's not a seismic free agent signing. Although Jesse did get the audio for me. Are you on a lake? Are you in a Four Seasons room or are you in a screened-in porch?
It's a screened-in porch and a screened-in chair or a caged-in chair.
It is.
So yes.
Does it swing? Does it swivel? The chair, not the screened-in room.
I would not sit on a swivel chair that was like hanging. I'm not pulling that root out of the
we
thing.
can see that it's not attached to the ceiling.
You asked, and obviously if it was, I would tell you. So I don't know.
I didn't. It doesn't swivel.
No.
You're not sitting in a Christmas ornament.
It's not going to swivel if you don't have a thing up here holding like an extended version of the chair.
The base can swivel.
It ain't a swiveling base chair, bro.
I know, and now
thank you.
And
for
I already knew it
clarifying.
wasn't hanging from the ceiling because it wouldn't be hanging for the ceiling much longer.
Rude, but fair.
Okay. I would like to talk about Nate Hobbs.
I don't like screened-in porches, for the record. I'm out on those.
That's okay. I think unless you're on a lake, because a screened-in porch, realistically,
do you have a dog?
There's a dog barking back there. Yeah, might be a sign. 3 months. I mean, realistically, a screened-in porch. What are you getting? 3 to 4 months? Is that about what you got?
Probably, if that. Because then it also, like, you don't want to be out there in July when it's too hot. Like, the screened-in porch just isn't a good... I've never enjoyed my time sitting or, like, sleeping in a screened-in porch area.
I feel like for Wisconsinites, the screened... And I know there's a ton of people that love screened because it keeps the bugs out and all. And that's all great. But, yeah, it's going to get too hot in the middle of summer. And then it's going to be too cold in the middle of winter. So you're really in a conundrum.
Okay. That was
so funny.
I don't think you got enough sleep last night.
So much better than discussing one of the Packers' most important free agent signings of the offseason.
I didn't tell you to not talk about Hobbs.
Well, now it's 10:02.
You straight up cut off the conversation about Nate Hobbs to ask about screened-in
before we
porches.
get into Hobbs.
You did cut that off. That was on you.
It was a simple question. I didn't mean for you guys to go into a 5-minute diatribe about how you didn't know what a Four Seasons room was. I literally asked the difference, and if you think a screened-in porch in the state of Wisconsin,
wouldn't you say that was making that the conversation topic? You asked a question.
Yeah, it brought it up.
Yeah. I brought it up. We'll get to Nate Hobbs at some point. I do want to get to this Caleb Williams story, which is. I don't know if it's as big of a deal in my mind as it seems to be in others. I'm curious what Jesse thinks. I'm curious what Tausch thinks. We're curious what you think. We'll find out during the 10 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here for Kohler Services. Well, if you've been putting off your bath or shower remodel, now's the time to turn to Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer, providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast, professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Nortman.
It's a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Milwaukee Brewers begin a 3-game weekend set back at American Family Field, hosting the Minnesota Twins. It's geographic rivals weekend across Major League Baseball. The Brewers playing the Twins, the White Sox and Cubs meeting in Chicago, Yankees and Mets in New York, and so on. Brewers-Twins 3-game series begins tonight. Chad Patrick on the mound for the Crew. First pitch tonight is set for 7:10. Pre-game coverage starts just after 6:30 right here on Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN. Meanwhile, football, Packers defensive coaches, including defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley, meeting with the media yesterday, including sharing preparations for plans with or without Jaire Alexander at corner for the coming season. We'll talk about it more on Wilde and Tausch coming up here on 100.5 ESPN. You can also check for all the latest Packers content, including reviewing the schedule, which was officially released Wednesday night. Check that out from Rob Domofsky at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
You are something else, man.
Thanks.
You're welcome. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch. Because now we'll get to Nate Hobbs another time, because now you have sparked a conversation in the YouTube comments.
It's almost like I know what I'm doing.
Turns out it's a popular topic.
Yeah, it's almost like sometimes maybe, and I'm going to tease something too. Jesse has audio of, and we've been doing this show together. How many years? About 9? Is that right?
Yes, 9th anniversary shortly. Coming up.
Jesse's been with us 6 or 7 of those 9. He's done a great job. We appreciate all of his efforts. He said something on the broadcast last night, and I am not being hyperbolic when I say this. It is the dumbest thing an announcer has ever said in the history of any play-by-play sports, ever. And I'm not sure when Jesse wants to play that, but I don't think there's going to be. And Jason, I don't think you're going to disagree with my assessment of that. So that's a tease. It will be a hour tease, hour and a half tease, whatever it is. But it is the dumbest thing. So for everybody listening, it's going to be worth your while.
We're going to play some of our greatest hits from last night's baseball broadcast during the 11 o'clock hour of today's show. You can stick around and stay tuned to hear the hits.
Got him in the you-know-whats. Also, don't forget Tausch prank calls, which I wrote down 2.5 weeks ago. Make sure I think it was in the aftermath of the Shadur Sanders situation. By the way, I'd just like to state for the record, I know you know what you're doing.
I didn't know you. I didn't know you knew that.
Your stream of consciousness can be at times challenging.
Totally agree.
And
totally agree.
I do feel as the shepherd of this program, I do feel a responsibility to not simply follow the stream of consciousness
Agree.
of you. And I thought the Jaire stuff and then getting into Nate Hobbs, who we haven't talked about very much, was worthwhile.
No,
but
and Jason, in fairness, the Nate Hobbs stuff, I think because it wasn't like the big sexy splash, I think it's been one of the more underreported pieces of the offseason.
Okay, so we agree.
Before OTAs, no, I definitely want to learn more about him. You know, I think everybody is kind of assuming he's going to be a slot corner. This is what it's going to happen, and I want to learn more about him. So I wasn't poo-pooing it, but it was the end of an hour. So I'm not going to get into how my mind works. It's a dangerous place.
I don't want to.
But the Nate Hobbs, I am definitely intrigued with why they signed him and what they think.
Well, we'll have plenty of opportunities to talk about him. OTAs are still a couple weeks away.
DP and Madison, screened in Porch for a hot tub. Yeah, I could see that. I can see that.
So the Four Seasons room, the screened in Porch, the conversation has they're doing their own show over, which is kind of our show now because we're going to dive into it further, over in the YouTube comments on ESPN Madison's channel, because there's something also called a 3-season room I'm learning now.
So they shut it down in the winter? Is that what my guess would be?
So Jaire in Canton, Ohio, our French correspondent in Ohio. So John and Jaire are discussing this. So the 4-season room, it's an enclosed porch. It's insulated so that it can be used all 4 seasons. Thank you, John.
Okay.
But 3-season rooms are uninsulated and can be used in the spring, the summer, and fall months.
Sure.
So it's framed in, it's got siding, but it doesn't have the insulation, so it's not warm enough to use in the winter.
And it's not screened. It's not screened, right? So it's like a normal, just kind of a appendage to a house. Would that be the way to kind of describe that, a 3 seasons?
Apparently, again, I didn't know what a 4 seasons room was, so I'm probably not the guy to ask, but I am intrigued because then Steven says, I love sleeping in a 3-season porch with screens. So now I'm confused again. Does it have screens or not?
Well, you get that fresh air without the bugs at night. I'm just trying to collect information. Yeah, okay, great.
On the talk and text line, the Carbless talk and text line, 844-770-3776 from a 608 number. Again, remember, if you're an early first-time texter, make sure you include your name so we can put you in our contacts. Fans and a little shade keep screened porches comfy. We use ours year-round except for the few real cold days we get anymore. Most 4-season rooms are mostly glass, so pretty much a 3-season room. So, again, I'm learning we don't have any of those. We have a deck. We have a little patio area.
Hey, you got a pool, too.
We do not. When the pool is gone, we've got a volleyball court.
Volleyball. Okay.
And then we got our little driving range that we've put together where the swing set used to be. It's a fun backyard. I like it. But I don't have a 3-4 seasons room. I don't have a screened-in porch. And that's what Tausch is doing the show from.
Your house is a 4 seasons room. Like your house is. No, it is.
It's what?
Your house needs to be a 4 seasons room. Otherwise,
if it's not, you're in trouble.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Then why isn't a 4 seasons room? Why is it called a 4 seasons room? Why isn't it called just one of the rooms?
I think the big reason is because you don't insulate it the same as one of our texters just put out. A 4 seasons room wants to give you a vibe of it's not really a part of your house, but it's a part of your house. The 4 seasons room is, I am going to experience the season that I'm in. Like your 4 seasons house, got the air conditioner going. Here it's, oh boy, if I go out here and I don't do something special, I'm going to freeze my tuchus off. Or it's going to be super hot because I don't have air conditioning out in said room. That's how that is viewed, Jason.
No heat or air goes to the sunroom 3 seasons, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, I think that's where the clarification is on. There's also usually more windows, so it's more like natural light. It's almost
scenic.
Feels like you're a little more outside as opposed to your regular house.
I think what happens is it's more of a vacation part of your house. It's if you don't want to go, like you don't like leaving your house.
I went on vacation to my porch.
You should have one.
This, of all people that not have a 3 or 4 seat, you need to, because this could be like, hey kids, we're going so-and-so. We're just go upstairs and there's our Four Seasons room. Because you won't travel with your, whatever the case. I'm not going to get into all that, but you need to probably have one more so than anybody else. No, I stopped.
Yeah. Okay, well, I feel like I learned something. And a Four Seasons room would be a place where you would put, say, a chair that is affixed to the ceiling that could or could not come crashing down if someone who's heavier set.
This would be a screened-in. You wouldn't put a chair like this hanging in a Four Seasons room, but you would a screened-in porch. Like, that's the difference.
All right.
And you know what? You need them insured. American Family Insurance is the place to go. American Family Insurance, a proud sponsor of Wilde and Tausch for almost 100 years. They've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent today at amfam.com.
We have a Three Seasons room with a concrete floor.
Oh, I love that.
Jim on the south side writes on the Carbless Talking text line, in the winter, the sun heats the concrete and the room is usable most of the winter.
I wonder how often Jimmy and the family are out there, though, with a concrete floor in the middle of winter, hoping that the sun is radiating the floor.
Yeah, barefoot.
I'm guessing Jimmy's time in the sun, and maybe I'm wrong, in the winter. Probably, if he didn't have a fireplace in there, I'm guessing his time is pretty limited in there. Maybe not.
Well, I feel much smarter. I don't know if I had differentiating between 3 and 4 Seasons rooms and screened-in porches were on the show sheet.
Was not on there. Can confirm.
I know Jesse seems very intrigued by this Caleb Williams story. Is that fair to say?
I am, yes.
Okay.
Well, now I'm intrigued by Hobbs. Like, I really want to know more about Hobbs.
Too bad you missed your window. We'll talk about this Caleb Williams situation. I did read a little more about it. I will say this, Ben Johnson, not a funny guy with his lame joke at Matt LaFleur's expense, but I thought he handled this story pretty well yesterday when he talked about it as well. We'll talk about it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. And you know I've loved Pizza Hut going back to the days when I was a kid participating in their legendary Book It program. It was great then, and it's great making new memories with my family now. Between basketball and baseball and hockey, there is a big game on just about every night this time of the year. And Pizza Hut is the perfect addition to your game day viewing experience. Whether it's a night in on your own or you're having the whole crew over to watch it all together, stock up with some original stuffed crust pizza, wings with your favorite flavor sauces, or a bunch of other delicious options that Pizza Hut has to offer. And right now, Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites, complete with 3 bold new dips in the Ranch Lover's Flight. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. And remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Your first time driving a stick shift. The car, sporty. Your teacher, nervous. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Online Activation Zone, so you can easily shift your direct deposits from your old clunker of a bank to Associated Bank in just a few clicks. You've got this with Activation Zone from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Tournament host Steve Stricker joins a star-studded group of PGA Tour champions at the American Family Insurance Championship. Catch the action June 6th through the 8th with an exciting team competition and a new tournament home at TPC Wisconsin. This year's AmFam Champ concert features Megan Maroney with special guest Clint Black on Friday, June 6th at Bree Stevens Field. All proceeds support the Steve Stricker American Family Insurance Foundation and American Family Children's Hospital. Get your tickets today at amfamchampionship.com.
Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits. Only one way to do cocktail night right, and that's with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For 4 years now, I've been telling you the only way I do cocktail night right at the Stroh household, and that is with my friends at Door County Distillery. Whether it's a bourbon on the rocks, an old-fashioned made with their cherry brandy infused with Door County cherries, or something like a rum punch with the weather getting warm, it's always Door County Distillery. Find it wherever local spirits are sold or visit doorcountydistillery.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Caleb Williams is going to have to wait right alongside Nate Hobbs because old T
screened in Porch.
No. Just sent this along from Albert Breer. Now, again, Bert and I have known each other for a really long time. I think he would be okay with me giving him grief about we have to be careful about what we can take at face value because he apparently thinks that Aaron Rodgers and Romeo Doubs are good buddies, and I'm not sure that's accurate. But he's really good at what he does for the MMQB. He just posted this. NFL owners will vote next week to radically change playoff seeding.
Pick your opponent. Let's go. Is he pick your opponent guy?
Doing it strictly by record and reseeding after the first round. They will also vote on the push play, the tush-push proposal, but that for now remains the same as it ever was in March. So, all right, first of all, so we're going to basically do away with divisions.
Yeah,
you're going to play teams in your divisions.
Yep.
But it won't matter for playoff seeding.
Hate it. Hate that part of it. Hate it. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. Reseeding after the first round, they do that anyway.
No, they don't.
The hell they don't.
Do they?
The team that has the first round bye plays the lowest seeded remaining team.
Yep.
So, like in the Packers' case, it wasn't a bracket when they upset Dallas.
No. Yeah, you're right. And they had to go play San Fran, the number one seed.
Right.
So, help me understand. Well, then what is Brewer talking about? How are they going to reseed it?
They're going to have like a committee that says, okay, here's the 4 teams remaining, and we say
Kirk Herbstreit's going to put in some extra SEC teams.
We actually think the Eagles are the best now, and the Lions are number 2 because the Eagles look so good in the wild card round.
Well, they can't reseed and take home field from a top seed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
What do they mean reseed, Jason?
I don't know. It's not my report. So I will look into that. But again,
well, it's your buddy Bert's.
I know Bert. Yeah, he does a good job.
Why do they call him Bert? Oh, because it's Albert.
Albert.
I never heard any No, was Bert Blyleven Albert Blyleven?
It's a great question.
Bert be home by Blyleven. What a great nickname, Bert be home by Blyleven.
By the way, according to Wikipedia, Rick R-I-K, Albert with 2 A's. Aalbert, Blyleven.
That's a little bit.
Is a Dutch American former professional baseball pitcher and color commentator. Much like you were a color commentator yesterday on baseball.
Yeah. Me and Bert.
So apparently, his actual first name, he's Dutch, is like Rick as in Rick Smits, R-I-K, and then Albert with 2 A's. So I guess he is Bert because of Albert. So apologize to Albert Breer. But I don't think the reseeding thing is the headline here. The headline here is that they're going... Now, whether or not they vote in favor of it, I don't know. But this was proposed. The meeting is in Minneapolis, which I didn't realize. Maybe we should go. I don't think they're going to have a Radio Row set up. But the idea of doing away with the significance of winning your division, I don't know, Jim. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that at all. And just because there's been a few instances over the years where a team won its division with a lesser record, I don't think that's enough to change the entire system, but maybe I'm wrong. You're on my side on that, though.
Yeah, the divisional piece to this, I understand there's been times, Seattle way back in the day finished like 7-9 and got a home game and beat a team with a better record. And last year, obviously, Minnesota has a great regular season, falls short of Detroit. They have to go play a road game and get beat. There are going to be times where that is unfortunately the case. Yeah. Yes, but to take away the biggest, I guess, the first carrot that teams look at and say, all right, this is what we need to do. You want to stress the importance of regional rivalries. That stuff's important. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Chicago, Green Bay, Minnesota. Winning your division needs to continue to be a staple of giving yourself a chance to have the most postseason success. And even if that means a team like the Vikings, who had a great regular season last year, having to go play on the road, hey, tough luck. The division was great last year. Doesn't mean it's going to be great this year. Doesn't mean it won't happen down the road. I don't like that at all. And as far as the reseeding part goes, that's where I would like to find out what does that even mean? And if the NFL really wants to get into the entertainment game, which they do, I plead with them. And I don't know who the person is that is going to head up this amendment to the playoff constitution. But Jason, I want you to go up to Minnesota. If you can, you should go up there. You love the mall. That's one of your things.
I do love the mall.
Why you would not implement a team that wins and earns the number 1 seed, does all the things right, and they get to pick who their opponent is in the divisional round, the drama and everything the NFL is all about, and revenue drive and Netflix and Amazon, and you don't think people want a little more drama with their sports? They do. So let's figure out a way to do that. This is the way to do it. Let's stop with this. Well, we could do this, and let's get a committee to do this. Jerry Jones, you're the 1 seed with the Dallas Cowboys. You don't want any part of the G&G, even though they're the 7th seed. You can say, you know what, man, I want to get me a chance at the New York Giants. That's who I want to play in the first round of the playoffs in the division. Let's see that happen, and then the outrage, and then the bulletin board material. That is the way forward in the entertainment world that we're living in. Let's get this thing rolling.
All right, so I just want to point this out. If we're being honest about the division issue, the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings all ending up with double-digit wins last year was in part because they got to play the worst division in football as their match division, right? I mean, 15-2, 14-3, and 11-6. The Packers went 11-6. They went 10-1 in games outside their division and 1-5 within their division. That tells me that they got to play, based on how they did against their own division teams, lesser teams outside the division. You cannot make that equal if you are going to say, well, you get the best record. Like, there's got to be another element there, doesn't there? Like some sort of like strength of schedule, or how else are they going to do this?
Jason,
Because
not everything needs to be tweaked. This is one of those things that because there's something happened, you don't need to overreact. The Packers won the division the year Rodgers busts his collarbone. San Francisco has to come on out to a cold day at Lambeau, and they probably were thinking, this is unfair. We should be playing in Santa Clara. If you're a good enough football team and you had a great regular season, you're going to go beat a bad divisional winner. You're going to. If you're not Super Bowl caliber anyway.
Yeah.
So I think you're sometimes looking for solutions to problems that come up every 10 or 15 years. And the core staple of your league back in the 1920s or whatever year they started this, and it was the Janesville squad and Beloit and all the other cities that had it was a regional thing. It is now a national, international behemoth. Don't lose sight of what gets you to those spots, and that is these fierce rivalries where battling to win a division and getting a home game is a big blanking deal. And when you take that away, you're going to lose a little something, and you're going to water down that back half of the playoff system more than you probably want to. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea.
I love the Decatur Staleys and the Racine Cardinals, that's for sure. I also love, if I was ever driving to Decatur or driving to Racine, I could stop at Quick Trip on my way.
I did this morning. A little Caruba for Old T. Life's busy. Quick Trip gets it. I was craving a fresh coffee. Sooner than I did, hop on into Quick Trip, grab one. You know, also Quick Trip has everything, a variety of apps and meals, and they're ready when you need them to be. Head over to Quick Trip where they're serving up their legendary, no ordinary chicken. Juicy chicken tenders or boneless wings that are hand-breaded, fried to perfection, and ready to go. Grab that Quick Trip crispy chicken sandwich. It's perfect for a quick bite. Or you can get an 8-piece fried chicken meal that feeds the whole crew. Or you can take the challenge, the 4-meal challenge from the rotisserie chicken on Monday. I think I'm going to try it. I am going to go through the process. I'm going to try to get that. And especially now you can get Nature's Touch butter for $2.99. Buns from the Quickery, that's 8-count, 2 for $3. Plus you get bananas and onions and baked potatoes, 29 cents a pound. Head on over to Quick Trip. They got everything you need. They will make your road trip that much easier. Use the Quick Rewards for every visit. Get all kinds of great perks with that. Use the curbside delivery, or pickup at Quick Trip as well. And we will see you next time.
We're supposed to do Where's Wilde next. I don't have the faintest idea what's going to happen next on this show. We'll all find out together with Tausch from his birdcage. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and it's another Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Stick around to hear some of the best feel-good stories of the week to close out today's show and start the weekend right. And speaking of starting something right, it's one of the best times of the year to get to work on your home's paint project. When you're ready to get started, do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Holman Lindsay Paints. Holman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why it's truly Wisconsin's best paint. Get connected with the pro painter, best for what your project calls for, by stopping into any Madison area Hallman Lindsay location and simply asking a member of the team. Hallman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at hallmanlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints.
We're on the Bucks
There's going to be no city that loves Giannis as much as he's beloved here.
because we're on Wisconsin sports.
The story of him walking around without a winter jacket and somebody picked him up and brought him to the Bucks practice facilities. Like, that will never happen anywhere else.
Madison's home of the Bucks, 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Brian Balaga here for my new friends at Surfside. There's only one thing better than Surfside and golf, and that's Surfside iced teas and lemonade plus vodka on the golf course. This golf season, there's no better drink to enjoy on the golf course. Surfside is light, refreshing, and made with real vodka and real brewed tea. Plus, there's only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation. Cheers to hitting the fairway, and cheers to Surfside. It's tea time. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
He's got a Chevrolet that don't always run and the radio never turns down. He's got a pedigree that's no good for nothing, no commas in his bank account. But there's a girl at the hole in the wall where he plays. Don't take her eyes off the stage, she loves his southern drawl from north of Atlanta. That Silverado he got parked outside, loves it cranking 89 Alabama.
The time has come.
Hobbsy?
Unless
Caleb,
you have something you'd like to. Before we do.
No, I'm not going to do that again.
In this segment. It may happen later in the program.
True.
I don't know what Jesse has for Where's Wildy, but I would like to think that it will lead to some measure of Packers conversation. So let's give that a shot.
Since he often saves his best material for other shows,
If there's something difficult we need to talk about, let's have the conversation.
we're bringing the other shows to us.
I would be very leery if I was a Packers fan.
Or are we?
Tausch takes a lot of days, man.
It's time to play Where's Wilde?
Trying to find out where Jason shared his best material of the week on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves. Where's Wilde?
Certainly not on this show. Am I right?
Rarely have the opportunity to when it comes to
Oh,
Packers
yeah,
on
you
this show.
got it.
Sick burn, bro.
Love to hear more about Hobbs. I know that. I'm curious what Hobbs is up to.
You and a lot of our audience.
We had an opportunity to do so. Here is.
Did we?
We did. Here is Where's Wilde clip number.
Does Nate Hobbs have a Four Seasons room?
Here is Where's Wilde clip number 1.
One of the guys that I think the world of is John Schneider. And he told him when he was in Seattle, he was there multiple times, by the way. He told him, you're going to be a head coach someday in this league. The bottom line is that this is a guy who is a really good football mind, and he's new school as opposed to Tom Clements, who's old school. Like, in Jordan Love's first season as the starter, he could have been in the same quarterback room, not as the coach of it, but as the backup quarterback behind him.
Where's Wilde?
Talking about Sean Mannion.
Thought it would be talking about Orlovsky. I think he's on Get Up with Dan Orlovsky. Is that one of the options or not?
That is not.
Man, whatever happened with that? I wonder if he got that interview.
No, he didn't get the job, though. I know he was thinking about getting into it. I'm going to say that sounded pretty clean. Let's say KBN. I think that's a KBNer.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, weekdays starting at 2 on ESPN Wisconsin, is Tausch's guess. Jason?
I'm going to guess the Homer Hour with Steve the Homer True.
Weekdays starting at 5 on ESPN Milwaukee at ESPN Beaver Dam. One of you is right, and that one is Jason. The Homer
Way to go.
Hour.
Yeah,
I should have known. Yeah, with KBN, you probably wouldn't get into the depth of this. You know, you wouldn't probably have gotten into the depth. So that's a mistake by me.
The group thinkers.
I find it interesting the fact I know Aaron Rodgers when he was the quarterback, I think lamented for a while. He wanted an old quarterback that he could draw experiences from, even though he is the biggest Tom Clements advocate I know. I think that's funny that, Sean Mannion had a journeyman career, and it sounds like he's going to end up being a head football coach. And this was always one of the things I think from Mike McCarthy that I think he missed on. I want to be around guys that are going to become head coaches. I want that leadership part, but I want coaches that other coaches are clamoring to get. I don't want coaches that they're like, oh yeah, Lenny's been there 32 years. He does a good job. I want to I'm going to go get that guy. That's the kind of coach. That's what you're looking for, and hopefully that's what happens with Sean Mannion as Jordan Love elevates. When we get on to Hard Rock and we can look at some futures bets, you get this thing turned around. I would love for LaFleur to start looking at things the way Sean McVay is, where you just get your guys and they keep cycling through, bringing new ideas in for your program, and these young star coaches go on to big things at other places.
So I'm curious, because you obviously played for Joe Philbin, who did not play in the league. You played for Larry Bechtel, who you loved, and he didn't play in the league. You also
fairly
played for...
certain he did. Yeah, I would think he did. He's 5'3", built like a tea kettle. I don't think he played in the end, but maybe I'm wrong.
For the Decatur Staleys.
R.I.P. to my guy, yes. Big back.
Showed him incredible respect. But also, and we know you loved Bechtel. That was a funny joke. But you also played for Campy, who did play in the league. He was Brett Favre's first center with the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
So is there because no, Sean Mannion was not a starting quarterback for 10 years in the NFL. But Doug Peterson wasn't either. He became a head coach, a Super Bowl winning head coach. As a player, having been one yourself, does it matter if a guy has NFL playing experience? Mike McCarthy didn't have it, right? So how does that, as a player, how much does that matter to you?
I think there's an instant credibility that the coach understands it, but I'm going to tell you this. Players really only care about winning and making money. And if there is a former NFL coach that is empathetic, but you win 5 or 6 games, they're going to be fine with that player coach getting fired. It's about results, and it's about leadership. And I think you want to have former players on your staff. I don't know how many great former big-time players. I'm talking big-time. Deion, obviously, with the success that he's had turning around Colorado. But how many big-time players have ever been big-time coaches in the NFL? Who is the gold standard of that? I'm talking big-time. Is there a Mike Ditka is probably the top of the list?
Probably.
And I don't think Ditka wasn't a big X's and O's guy. Today's game is more about X's and O's, I think, than it has ever been. So Andy Reid, I think he could be a great leader of men, but I think his creativity and how he develops an offense is what's made him successful. Yeah. And he's a leader, and he's got the credibility to do it. But to answer your question, unwieldy-like, which is short, it doesn't matter.
Tony Dungy played in the league. Herm Edwards played in the league. Like, there's plenty of guys that played.
So I put Dungy, Ditka. But I'm talking about, like, Ditka was a Hall of Fame player.
Right.
Dungy was not.
I would also just, as I look at the Packers coaching staff, then we'll get to the next Where's Wildy clip. Matt LaFleur obviously didn't play in the league. Played for the Omaha Beef, which not many head coaches can say they did. But Stenovich was with you in camp, but I'm not even sure how many regular season NFL games he ever played. Luke Butkus went to camp a few times.
Went to camp? Did you say Kemp? He went to camp?
He went to camp.
He went to camp?
Bag. He carried a bag.
He sounded very northeastern there.
But Ben Sermons, Jason Vrabel, like
Jason,
those guys.
I think we've seen this in pretty much all sports, and there is no doubt. I think players that are so elite, they can't get their head wrapped around how other players that aren't as talented as them can't do that, and their patience isn't where it needs to be. Yep. I don't want a great player I want the guy that struggled and lamented and understands it, but is smart as a whip. That's what I'm looking for.
And this is where I love to tell the story of sitting down with my childhood idol, Robin Yount, at spring training back when he was their roving hitting instructor, when it was the J.J. Hardy, Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, Corey Hart era, and all those guys swore by him. And I asked him exactly that. I'm like, how are you able to relate with these guys, considering you're a Hall of Famer who has 3,000 hits? And he said, because I had to work my ass off to be good. There are some guys that it comes so naturally to them that they can't coach. And he, because of what it took for him to be the player he was more relatable to those guys, at least in his opinion and in their opinion.
There's something you said there that I am going to start implementing in every phase of my life. I am going to be roving. You can put roving in front of everything, and you can be semi-expert, and you can kind of bounce in and out of. I am a roving fisherman. What does that mean?
Let's be honest, you're a roving host.
Good one.
Where's Wildy?
Next.
Congratulations, you ran 9 minutes of music out on one answer to Where's Wildy. Nicely done. Here.
Hobbs.
Yeah.
Hobbsy.
Here is Where's Wildy clip number 2.
Either way, even though Tausch always messes up this saying, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. And so either you're running a lengthy gauntlet and then you have a very late buy, or you have an early buy, now you're running that gauntlet late. And again, I would underscore the fact, too, that they use up whatever benefit there is to playing a Thursday night game by ending up with that in week 2. I'm guessing if I was sitting with Matt LaFleur right now, having a Pinot Grigio or whatever it is he drinks, he's probably irritated with how early the bye comes for his team.
Where's Wilde?
You think Matt LaFleur's soft? Is that what you just did right there?
No.
Why didn't you say he's out in his garage having a beer, like a beer, an old Coors Light in a beer fridge?
Because I like saying Pinot Grigio.
Why do we assume that people who drink Pinot Grigio are soft, Tausch?
Jesse, do you think that NFL coaches with a pinky out sipping on a Pinot Grigio on their porch, screened in, is soft or tough? What do you think? You know what you think, and now you're getting skirked, so you don't want to say it. What's the original question here? Because that's all I could think of.
Where did he say this?
Oh, KBN.
Weekday starting at 2 on ESPN Wisconsin is Tausch's guest. Jason.
Yeah, it sounds like I'm in the car, probably on my way to Maddie's track meet. I'm going to say KBN also.
The guess is KBN. Weekdays starting at 2. You both are wrong. That was on the ESPN Wisconsin schedule release special on Wednesday night with Alex Strofe and Gabe Neitzel.
I am getting so fed up with this foolishness. Yeah, okay.
You handle disappointment so well.
That's irritating.
All right, you got one more.
Schedule release.
It was on the ESPN Wisconsin airwaves.
I'm not arguing with your
criteria of the show.
True. Jesse,
Strofe and Gabe did a great job examining the schedule. Jason joined. It was great insight on Wednesday night for those who wanted that content.
All right, I get it. I don't have to like it, but I get it. Next. It's just not fair. The Packers never get any home games. Oh, it's not fair. The Packers get too many home games to start the season. Who said that? Baby Wilde on Wilde and Tausch earlier this week.
I'm not playing.
Let's see if Tausch can get on the board with this. This should be an easy one.
I'm good, guys. I have to use my golf announcer voice as Sydney is playing in her first golf tournament this afternoon. So I only have a few minutes for you today, and I'll be doing it like Jim Nance at the Masters. Hello, friends.
Where's Wilde?
Oh my God, you are so.
She was
the annoying.
By the way, she was so good. She played really well.
The annoying hour.
What did she shoot?
She shot a 55 in her first 9-hole course match or tournament. She finished 20th out of 65 kids.
That's
having
very
never
good.
been on a big boy course before.
Upper echelon. Yeah.
Would you have beaten her if you played same tees at the same course?
I would say this: there was not a lot of water and not a lot of woods.
So you would.
So I feel like I would have done. I might have gotten like a 51. So yeah, I don't know, but
Are you not going to do this strictly because you don't want to be proven right or wrong? Like I'm just so dumbfounded. Like this is a hill that you refuse to climb. This isn't.
And this is
this
is a hill that you continue to drag me to at every opportunity. Maybe that's why.
No,
like,
that's not
you
why.
brought up.
That's not
like,
why.
Here's what you do. You're such a jackwagon. Like we're talking about how excited we are for the AmFam Championship and the new course, the TPC Wisconsin. And of course, we can't even talk about golf.
There.
You have to say
it
has nothing to do with the conversation. There's no way you're breaking 200 there.
You're not. You're not. I want to see you try. I do. I want to see you try.
Well, maybe your motivational techniques are lacking.
No, you need to be pushed, and nobody pushes you in life. You just coast along. Someone needs to push you, and I'm going to be the shover.
And you're just the guy to do it. I will say this.
What are you looking at?
That's right, guys.
Jesse gives me that look like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. Be uncomfortable being uncomfortable.
It was the Damn Sports Show on ESPN Beaver Dam, weekdays at 4 o'clock with Corey and Wally. Nice.
Oh, no, it was actually Wally and Corey's schedule release. show that was later that day on Beaver Dam.
I would just, how many segments of this hour do we have left now? I've completely lost track.
One more to go.
Hobbsy.
Okay.
We got the Hobbsy hour.
Yeah, right. I would like to thank you for bringing up your need for a driver earlier in the week. Because my buddy Sean Rozacek from TaylorMade was inundated with texts that he had been mentioned on our program. He was traveling. And now it reminded me that I need to get clubs so I can play. So thank you for your service.
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
So when are we going out trying to the break for 200? When is that episode?
Whoa,
that will be on
Nelly! At what point do you see yourself no longer discussing this?
Never.
That may increase the likelihood.
Once we go out and do it. How fun is that going to be?
Okay.
Jesse will do play-by-play, and we're just going to have a walk. We'll take a beat, we'll have a walk, and we'll grab a lunch. How fun does that sound?
Not as fun as the Memorial Day sale, which is underway right now at Steinhafels. Save 10% off store-wide. Plus, get amazing deals like a Sealy mattress for just $199. Desks starting at $449. And queen beds starting at only $629. Plus, you'll save up to $1,000 on patio furniture, and you can take advantage of Steinhafels' 18-month 0% financing. Steinhafels is Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader, and they're 100% employee-owned. So shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. Jesse, I want to make sure that we're on the same page here because we're so excited about having Vortex Golf on board with the rangefinder and the swag bag that this week's trivia winner will receive. When would you like to do trivia? Because I know Michael in the YouTube comments gets irritated, but we're really proud of trivia. We love trivia, and I don't want to forget to do it, and I really don't want to do end of show trivia because that's when we do Feel Good Friday.
Well, since we just talked so much Packers during that segment, I think it's good now to step away and do Wilde and Tausch trivia presented by Vortex Golf right now. I think this is a good time for it.
I thought we might be in sync there. All right, what's the category? What caller do you want?
Per Tausch's request, the NHL playoffs is today's trivia category. So we're talking sports next segment. Caller, I don't know, seven game series. Let's do caller 7.
All right, caller 7 right now, 844-770-3776, 844-770-3776. Caller 7 plays trivia. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is our crew.
Ground ball is short. Ortiz gobbles it up, throws to first in time, and Nick Mears pulls the magic act.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tauscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Whether it's for an upcoming summer vacation, college tuition, in advance of a life-changing purchase, or just because you're financially responsible, everybody is always looking to save money. Well, you can save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch with Everlight Solar. Our family made the switch to solar after looking around for quite some time, and at first, we just weren't quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhafels Memorial Day Mattress Sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable base sets, plus get up to $300 in Steinhafels cash only at Steinhafels. To the next adventure, Kamari McGee on the podium at UW-Madison's student-athlete grad ceremony. The 3-year Badger guard recollecting on his Madison memories, audio courtesy Badger Athletics.
My first year here was probably the toughest year of my life. After being known as a top player on my previous teams, it was hard adjusting to the new role that I was given. If it were not for the support from my loved ones, teammates, and coaches, I would not be in this position that I'm in today. I hope everyone leaves here proud, and last but not least, on Wisconsin.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
If you're a motorist of the four-wheel variety, please watch out for those of us in Wisconsin who do their traveling on two wheels. Adjust your mirrors to reduce your blind spots. Allow motorcyclists a full lane width. Use your turn signal when merging or changing lanes. And allow more following distance between you and the motorcycle. Motorists and motorcyclists can work together to achieve zero preventable deaths on Wisconsin roads. Zero in Wisconsin. Together we can save lives. Learn more at zeroinwisconsin.gov. Wisconsin DOT.
At Metro Ford of Madison, they sell vehicles that are built in America for America. This month, enjoy their You Pay What We Pay sale. The 2024 Ford Mach-E offers 0% APR financing for 72 months. $13.89 cost per $1,000 borrowed. The 2024 Ford F-150 is available with 2.9% APR financing for 66 months. $16.47 per $1,000 borrowed. Bonus cash available on XLT and SXT models. All offers available to qualified credit. Browse their inventory at MetroFordOfMadison.com. Carbless ready-to-drink cocktails are here for your flawless summer. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Drinking Carbless and watching the crew is already a win, but now that combination is about to get a whole lot better. Carbless is offering you a sweet night at the ballpark. Your chance to win 14 tickets with food and drinks included to the July 26 game is just one shopping trip away. From now until the end of May, head to your local retailer and scan the QR code to register for your chance to win this amazing prize. A flawless summer night at the ballpark awaits.
We're on the Packers.
You still want to see that steady play, that steady improvement, and you didn't get it from Jordan Love?
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
That just makes the stakes that much higher this season.
Nobody covers the green and gold like 100.5 ESPN.
For trivia, and time to be reminded of what an awesome new opportunity our trivia winners have to win from Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Vortex Golf, they've got binos, they've got swag bags, they've got rangefinders. Tausch, do you generally use a rangefinder?
I do.
Are those legal in tournaments?
I don't play tournaments, so I don't know.
Are they legal if you're trying to break 200 at TPC?
I believe it is a legal tool to use in tournaments. I don't see why it wouldn't be. It's a standard piece of golf equipment.
You just kind of made me feel bad, Jason. I had a couple people text me saying, lay off of Jason. And I'm like, all right.
Who texted you? Who is standing in support of me?
Nobody.
Who? You just made that up.
No, I did get it. I did get some texts on it, and you don't know who they are, so it doesn't really matter. The bottom line on it is, I'm going to stop with it, even though I think you should do it. I think it'd be great for content. It'd be great for you. And I'm irritated that I guess Jesse, am I coming off as a bully on this?
A little bit.
All right.
But also, I think Jason should do it.
It's a fine line, then. I'm not 100% sure how to handle that. Because I don't want to be a bully.
Boy, this Caleb Williams story is really something. All right, let's get to trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. Don't feel bad. You're just a jerk.
Listen, I don't feel really bad about it. But I do like to get kind of checked. I like it.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Amen.
Let's welcome in our contestant because he is a first-time contestant. It is Joe in Milwaukee, who I don't think is the same as up north Joe. Joe, good morning. How are you?
Doing good, guys. How are you?
2 questions, unless Tausch has other ones that he'd like to interrupt with. 1, are you a golfer? So would the Vortex Golf rangefinder and swag bag help you?
I could probably get below 200, I think, yeah.
Well, we all have goals. Nicely done.
Nelly!
You fit in well here, Joe.
Not to be a bully, Joe, but do you think Jason can?
I haven't seen him golf. I'm not really sure.
Smart answer there. Better than I'm presented as being on the program. Let's just leave it at that. Second, what do you know a lot about hockey?
Enough, I think. We'll find out, I guess.
I was just going to say, well, we're about to find out because the category is the NHL playoffs. Tausch, from your sunroom, 3 seasons, whatever it is, room, are you participating in this, or are you just going to listen?
I'm out.
Classic.
That's what I thought. Indeed. All right, Joe, here's question 1.
Asks for the category and doesn't even play.
Yeah, it's on brand, wouldn't you think? The good news is he's leaning back in his birdcage chair, so you can barely see him at this point. All you can see is the Cardinal hat. Question 1, Joe. Which all-time great NHL player, along with the rest of his team, was eliminated from the NHL playoffs last night in Game 5 of their second-round series? Was it Alex Ovechkin, Sidney Crosby, or Wayne Gretzky Jr.?
We'll go with Ovechkin.
1 for 1. Question 2. A lot of losing here. Question 2.
Only one team wins it, Jason.
I understand.
Negative Nelly, they call him when it comes to hockey.
Indeed.
Trivia.
Much like the Sun Prairie East Cardinals in that baseball game you called yesterday. 2-1. Great game. Which team that lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final last year, this one's a winning question, advanced to the Western Conference Finals for the second straight season with an overtime victory on Wednesday night? Was it the Vegas Golden Knights, the Edmonton Oilers, or the Winnipeg Jets?
We'll do the Oilers.
2 for 2. Question 3, and a chance at a clean sweep and 4 entries for the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and Swag Bag is this. Which remaining team in the NHL playoffs plays its home games at the Lenovo Center, which I think is the kind of ThinkPad, iPad computer.
It's a computer.
Yeah. Is it the Florida Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, or the Toronto Maple Leafs?
Let's go for the Hurricanes.
So, Jesse, are you telling me that it's Edmonton, Florida, Carolina, and Toronto that are still left?
One series is not done yet.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's, Florida and Toronto are still playing.
Okay.
Carolina has advanced, Edmonton has advanced, and actually Dallas and Winnipeg are still playing too. So they're still in it. Yeah, Winnipeg survived last night.
Canadian correspondents, the Klingster, cheering for those Winnipeg Jets. And we were cheering for you, Joe, and you nailed it. All 3 questions correct. You got 4 entries into the drawing, which we're going to do when we lead into Whoa Nelly at the bottom of the 11 o'clock hour. Thanks for playing, buddy. We appreciate you.
Appreciate it. Love you guys.
I love you guys.
I love the fact that he's a first-time contestant, but he knows enough about the show to drop a love you guys. Love it.
I love that you love that.
I know that you also love Bucky Badger, that cute rascal,
Oh,
and your newfound membership at UW Credit Union.
It's not that new anymore. We're chomping away here. Not as long as you, of course, as Mr. Topper over here has always got to top it. Jason, every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. They're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask me, OT, why did you join UW Credit Union? It's to keep your banking local. Yep. Is it member first service? Absolutely. I love great perks. That's another reason. But between us, I just love Bucky. You can't say no to that little rascal. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but boy, does this make sense. Become a UW Credit Union member like me and get your Bucky card. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We've made it through one full show, I think, yesterday, and now 2/3 of a show today. I mean, of course, we've talked about baseball play-by-play and color commentary and Tausch's rock pillow that he's got his iPad on and the sunroom concept. But I think it's been since Wednesday that we even brought up Giannis Antetokounmpo. That is about to change when we kick off the 11 o'clock
breaking
hour.
News? Is there something breaking that I didn't see?
No. But we are going to talk a little bit about him because that's what people are talking about, and we'll do it in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Listen live and on demand to all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows at the touch of a fingertip. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. Download the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple and Android app stores today. Milwaukee Brewers begin a 3-game weekend set hosting the Minnesota Twins, returning to American Family Field tonight. 7:10 first pitch. Pregame coverage starts just after 6:30 right here on Madison's new home of the Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. It is geographic rivalry weekend across Major League Baseball. The Brewers and Twins designated as rivals, as are the Cardinals and the Royals, the Cubs and the White Sox, the Yankees and the Mets. You get it. Brewers Twins, part of rivalry weekend, starting tonight, 7:10 first pitch at American Family Field. Listen to it here on 100.5 ESPN. Football, the latest on the green and gold over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Packers reporter Rob Demovsky outlining, including defensive coaches meeting with the media yesterday, coming up with plans with or without Jaire Alexander at corner for the coming season. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with some Giannis talk. Now, I don't want to be that guy. And let's be honest, frequently I am that guy who annoys people. But I don't want to be the guy who, well, we got to talk Giannis because, well, everybody's talking about Giannis, which is a lot of hot air at this point because no one knows, right? We don't know. He doesn't even know. He's just open-minded, reportedly. But Brian Windhorst, as Jesse writes in the rundown, whose weight does not need to be mentioned during this analysis, said something interesting.
Just wait a second. Why did you bring that up, Jesse?
Because you felt the need to bring it up the other day when we were talking about Giannis and Windy and speculation about his future. You may recall that you said heavy-set fella and so on and so forth, and we didn't need to do that. So we're not.
Fair enough.
We're not doing that this time.
But you just did by not.
Well, I did, and I would just say
Jason
this:
did.
I would not have brought up his weight in any way because I'm a heavier set guy too. I wouldn't have brought it up though. But Jesse wrote specifically that it didn't need to be brought up, so I brought it up by pointing out that Jesse wrote that it didn't have to be brought up.
Okay.
He was on Unsportsmanlike this morning, and Jesse and I, having listened to it, when I wasn't watching GMA, which I missed the big interview with Bill Belichick. Did he talk about his 24-year-old girlfriend on Good Morning America? I don't know. I missed it. But
why does that bother everybody so much?
I don't know. I think it's bothersome.
It's fascinating.
No, I think what
Is
it
it?
is.
I
think what it is, in my opinion.
What De Niro is dating some, and he had a kid at like 80. Like that to me, having a kid at 80, dating a 25-year-old as a 70-something. Like, to me, De Niro's story should be a heck of a lot more talked about than Bill Belichick.
I don't want to speak for the people that find it interesting. I'm not among them, but I do believe...
You just brought it up, so...
No, I was bringing up Good Morning America because that's where I normally do my prep work, as I've discussed on the show. And I missed this interview. I think what's interesting is that he seems like such a control freak and someone who is so about all the minute details. No one tells Bill Belichick what to do. And then you have this 60 Minutes interview and you have these other things where it seems now, because he's with a woman who's 24 years old, she's kind of running his operation. And that seems odd that someone who would not let anybody tell him what to do is now, because he's with a very young lady, is now being told what to do.
Let me tell you something. Slippery slope. This little conversation is going down. I think most of us understand how the world works sometimes, Jason. I think we all understand. Oh, he's a control freak. Oh, it might not
Until
be the
he's
only.
not.
I was going to say, you can take control out of stuff. There's all kinds of stuff that you get into. Bottom line is he going to end up coaching at North Carolina? All that other stuff is fun, Us Weekly type stuff, not really pertinent when it comes to football.
I hope they're happy together. I'm sure.
No, you don't.
I'm sure their relationship is predicated purely on love and mutual respect. All right,
I'm glad you feel that way.
I do. Yes.
You ever wonder what they talk about, though? Whoa, you think they're talking about like the 3 technique at North Carolina? I think you got to get this.
I don't wonder what they
Clemson.
talk about. I don't care what they talk about.
Well, you just brought it up.
I brought up Good Morning America.
Well, Good Morning America didn't. What I would have not known that Bill Belichick was on there talking about his girlfriend.
I don't know if he did because I missed it.
So how did we get here then? I know I didn't.
Because
I didn't
heard
bring this up.
Because I didn't watch Good Morning America this morning, because I saw Unsportsmanlike and I saw Windy and what he said that Jesse will play now.
I don't think it's 100% he's leaving Milwaukee. Do I think it's maybe headed in that direction? Do I think it's more likely now than it's ever been? Yes. Do I think it's a done deal? No. But here's what I would say this. If Giannis were to call me up and ask for my consultation on what to do, I would probably advise him to leave Milwaukee, which I'd not say flippantly, but I would say East. Stay East. Look at the Western Conference. The Western Conference is a beast, and the number 1 pick just went to the West. The number 2 pick just went to the West. Those 2 teams are going to get stronger. If I were Giannis, I would say either Milwaukee is where I want to be, and I just want to be a Buck for life, or send me some team to the East.
Here's my issue. Because I thought that was really interesting, and he used the same technique that I like to use, which is if Jaire called me, my advice would be, even though both Windy knows that Giannis ain't calling and I know Jaire ain't calling, where are you trading him in the East? And if you're the Bucks, is that where you want to be trading him to? Like I felt, I don't know about you, but after hearing that. I know he says it's more likely than ever, and that he would advise him to go. I'm convinced he's going to get to the end of the yellow brick road here, and he's going to realize that wherever he goes instead is probably not going to be guaranteed to be better. Certainly not long term, probably short term. But I don't think Giannis thinks short term. I think he thinks long term. But where's he going to go in the East? They're going to trade him to Boston?
I think he should call Belichick's girlfriend up and ask her what he should do. What Windy just said there is nothing. There is nothing of any substance. He didn't talk to anybody. He is giving his personal opinion about what he might do if someone that is never going to call him calls him. There isn't any news there.
I do that.
There's nothing there. So I don't get, what are we even doing? There's no news.
Jesse, I never said it was news. I said it was interesting.
He never said it was news. You thought it was news. You even asked before the top of the hour break,
is it breaking
this
news?
And we said no, it's specifically not news.
So then what the hell are we talking about it for?
Well, you offered Giannis advice the other day. He's not going to call you and ask.
You don't know that.
Oh, I think I know that.
Brian Windhorst is one of the most respected. By your own accord, Brian Windhorst is one of the most respected NBA reporters in the game right now.
And heavy set.
He's very insightful in.
Yes, he is.
That's irrelevant. He's very insightful into the goings on of LeBron James in player movement across the league. Mm-hmm. He called the move for the Jazz with the last a couple of years ago. He's on stuff. So if he's saying stuff and speculating, usually it's worth at least considering what he has to say.
I'm not arguing that, but we're sitting here and acting like there's anything different. We got after it because Shams brought this up, and I think everybody that understands anything is looking at it saying this is a time everybody should evaluate the situation. What's happened the last 3 years hasn't worked for Milwaukee. They're paying a ton of extra money. You are fine doing that if you're getting results. You're not. So now, if I'm Giannis and I'm 30 years old, I see that, hey, I still have a career ahead of me, but I don't want to be sitting here in a rebuild and playing a year without my Robin next to me because his Achilles is popped. This is the time to do it. And I don't mind Windy, going into where they should and shouldn't go. But I guess I just felt like you two put this you guys elevated this up to something that was bigger than it was. If it's just Windy saying, okay, great. This had the vibe to me as if this was some new information, which all I'm saying is it's not. I told you that the Brooklyn Nets were going to be interested. There is something there. And I'm not Windy. Okay? The idea of going to Dallas, Houston, or San Antonio because of the taxes, because of that is a component, and there's assets that the Bucks could get that would be very intriguing. Those are your options to me. You're looking at it. Giannis is going to drive the bus on this.
So you're saying that the Nets, because here are the 15 teams, including the Bucks, that are in the East. Stop me if I ever get to one that you're like, oh, if I was Giannis, that would make sense to me.
Okay, well, so but before you even do that, this is the part that
you weren't going to do that anymore.
I'm not going to disparage Windy. I'm not disparaging guys that haven't played, that cover sports, because there are many people are much better at it. I just saw Kevin Durant getting after somebody because they don't cover football and they don't do this. I don't buy into that philosophy. But what I do buy into is some people don't get the mindset. They think they do, but if you're not in the arena, you don't. Do you really think that Giannis Antetokounmpo, who believes in his mind he is the best player in the world, gives two rips about going to be the path of least. I'd rather go to Toronto and pay 100 times more in taxes because maybe the East is a little softer? Or do you think Giannis is looking like, I'm really good, and if I go play with AD in Dallas, we're going to be really good, we're going to win the whole blanking thing? You ever think he's looking at saying, boy, Wendy's right, the East is a little softer? That is not how Giannis Antetokounmpo will ever think. So that part is complete rubbish. And Wendy, I don't know what the... Wendy has that is just not going to ever be a part of the DNA of championship big boy players. It just isn't.
Great point. Awesome point. I also...
I don't know, boy. Brooklyn's in the Atlantic, and they're not... you think Giannis is breaking
Brooklyn's
down...
in the Atlantic.
It's Atlantic division.
I know. I didn't expect you to be dropping divisions.
Do you really think that Giannis is going to get a spreadsheet out and break down, well, this team's kind of weak and they don't have a draft pick until the night?
Wait, is that your Giannis?
No, this is my Windy. This is my Windy. My Giannis being Windy. Giannis, you think Giannis is breaking down Orlando's compensatory picks that they might get? And oh boy, I don't want to be in that conference because
I'm sorry,
Orlando
I'm not listening anymore because of your Giannis. Windy as Giannis, Giannis is Windy. Finkel is Einhorn.
I'm not going to go to New Orleans because it's west of the Mississippi. Like, what are we doing here? Like, come on.
Why does
I've got a spreadsheet on my...
Why does he sound like a goblin?
Just picture Giannis being afraid. And he's been MVP. He's just had his best statistical career ever. And you're telling me he is I'm all shook up because, Denver picked up a third wing that might be added to their rotation. And, we just can't beat the Denver Nuggets because they added a third wing. Get out of Dodge with that loser's mentality. Come on.
Cavs could use him.
That Goldie, our teammate, saying they won't trade Mobley for Giannis. Come on now. I'm exhausted. I'm going to sit back in my bird cage.
And have yourself a Coors Light while you're sitting back in your bird cage.
Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. Born in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. I can't go out there. They picked up a fifth swing guy. They can't go to Denver. That's out west. Yeah, out east, young man. You ever hear any great frontiersmen say that? I didn't either. Coors Light brewed with...
Are you talking to yourself now in your read? Did you ever hear any great frontiersmen say that? No, I didn't. I didn't either.
This baseball game wrecked him last night.
I'm going to have some Coors Lights this afternoon while I'm playing golf, having a great time, and I'm going to celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Speaking of the baseball game, we will hear... dare I say the highlights.
The dumbest thing he's ever heard me say is how he teased this.
That's how it was teased. Yes, I can't wait to hear it.
I can't believe that whole ordeal there is something else.
Well, we'll all hear it together. Next, it's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. Ben Brust here to tell you about why your next work van should be from Mercedes-Benz Sprinter at Zimbrick European. First off, we have versatility. The Sprinter vans offer 16 body types and thousands of ways to customize that space. Number 2, we have reliability. Sprinter's most powerful diesel engines last longer and require less maintenance, spend more time on the road and less time in those bays. Number 3, we have safety. Sprinter's safety technologies include curtain airbags all around, load adaptive electronic stability program, and crosswind and attention assist. Number 4, Van Care Mobile. Our maintenance team can come to you with routine service. Who wants to go in? Let them come to you. They work with multiple trucks on one visit. Use the Mercedes Meet Connect. And last but not least, get your Zimbrick Sprinter at Zimbrick European at Rimrock Road and the Beltline, or go online at ZimbrickEuropean.com, because your next Mercedes Sprinter van is waiting for you.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. Ridgetopexteriors.com. That's Ridgetopexteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or siding took a hit with this recent storm, your insurance may cover the damage, but the process is still a nightmare. Badgerland Exteriors makes it seamless. They'll guide you through every step and get your family's home back in tip-top shape just as fast as that storm ripped through.
Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's BadgerlandExteriors.com.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Take my heart, don't break it. Love me to my bones. All this time I wasted. You were right there all along. You and I start gazing into twining souls. We were never strangers.
All right, so we'll save the highlights for Whoa Nelly. I want to hear more because I did not get to watch the game from start to finish, so I'm sure I missed some pretty good lines in there from the play-by-play guy and the color analyst. But you can't have Tausch make a proclamation like he did and not pay off that tease. What did you call it? The stupidest thing ever said by a play-by-play announcer? Yes. I don't want to misquote you.
Yeah, and maybe I need to specify more. I know baseball's long. You know, high school games are 7 innings. Major league games, 9 innings. So there is a lot of time to have discussions, to have these conversations, to have thoughts, to make takes, to have things said that are crazy. There's good storytelling. But I heard something last night that a play-by-play guy made a statement that I think universally everybody will say is the dumbest thing a play-by-play announcer has ever said in the history of PXP.
Oh, you
And
like
Jason,
that? I noticed you saw that from me in the YouTube comments. PXP.
I like that. It was fun. And we appreciate it. We gave you a shout out on air.
I heard it.
Jesse, without further ado, I will let you explain your take
stupidity
after we hear what I believe is the dumbest thing I've ever heard on a radio broadcast of a baseball game.
We join the action in the fourth inning after a hit-by pitch for one of the Sun Prairie East batters.
Now, we don't joke about head injuries, but if you get hit in the arm or something, you say, we got ice. Find a way to get on base.
I actually always found getting hit in the helmet was the best place to get hit. We had a coach that told us
disagree.
that.
It's got to be the tuchus.
The tuchus isn't bad either.
If you get drilled in the, why would you want to get hit in the head compared to getting hit in the tuchus?
By the way, foul ball here for Tristan Fry, the number 5 hitter, standing in for Sun Prairie East.
Sometimes you say stuff.
No, honest to goodness, I was sliding in from third going home one time, took a drill
You'd
shot
rather
from
have a kid throwing 90 miles an hour drill you in the head.
There was a
than hit you in the
hard-throwing
tuchus.
first baseman who threw one straight off the back of my helmet. It popped up, went over the net, out of play behind home plate. I didn't feel a thing.
I'm
Hit
gonna
me
tell
square
you
on the
this,
helmet.
That might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard you say.
No,
you said some doozies.
Honest to goodness, the helmet is a great spot to get hit.
The helmet is a great spot to get hit.
So, Jesse, just so we're all on the same page. First off, Van Vogler, the cleanup hitter for Sun Prairie, his dad, Vogsy, is a frequent pickleball partner of mine. He gets hit in the head. Jesse thinks he got hit in the arm. So, again, our Vistage point went great last night. I say he got drilled in the head. So he goes down. So that starts the conversation. And then Jesse has the gall.
He didn't go down. He was fine and started to take his base at first. And they said, hang on, let's just check, make sure.
He was
'cause there's
mad.
Concussion protocol.
First off, by the way, it was an 0-2 pitch. The guy drilled him in the head. But that I just...
Caught a break.
So
Best place to get hit.
Jesse thinks he'd rather have Nolan Ryan throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball and drill him in the head than to hit him in the tuchus. It's the best. He said this. It is the best place to get hit with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball is the helmet. I can't think of something dumber for someone to say.
So I did not say with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, but thank you for...
And Nolan Ryan ain't throwing in the 100s anymore.
And I also didn't
How do
say...
you know?
Because he's like 80 years old.
So what? Dude, he would throw 200 pitches a game. Nolan Ryan ain't built like everybody else. Nolan Ryan's special. Continue.
It's true. He's 78.
If I may.
Hopefully he's throwing his age.
I was at the Brewers Marlins game several years ago when Giancarlo Stanton got hit in the head by a pitch, and it was a very scary situation. I am not arguing that getting hit straight on the head is a safe thing. That would be stupid.
It'd be one of the stupidest things ever said by a player.
Literally,
correct.
Literally verbatim what you just said.
No, what I
Continue.
said verbatim was getting hit on the helmet is the best place to get hit, which is then what I said from my experience playing Little League Baseball. Running home, got drilled, and I've been hit in the back. I've been hit on the leg. As an umpire, I've taken some hits different places, and they all hurt.
In the you-know-whats?
When you take one, whether you're behind the plate.
No, Jesse told me he didn't wear a cup when he umped, which I thought was crazy.
Yeah.
And I never took
Seems
one in
like
the
a good
you-know-whats.
idea.
Never took one there. When you get hit square on the helmet, as I did, and this was a big kid that threw this he was play at home plate. I was sliding in, and he threw it a little off kilter. He had a bunch of heat, didn't control it very well, went straight off my helmet and went up and out of play. I didn't feel a thing because of the padding of the helmet and how safe it is. Boom, up, didn't feel it at all. And we had a coach who said if you're going to lean into one, if you're going to get hit, sometimes it's better to duck down a little bit and take it off the helmet than it is to get hit in the neck or on the shoulder or anything like that. Helmet is a great spot to get hit.
Doesn't sound like great advice.
This was also, it was almost 20 years ago, so maybe things have
and
changed.
Little League, which might the velocity might have been a little different than high school baseball.
Could be.
Yeah.
But it's the advice that I always follow.
I appreciate that you usually side with me, Jesse. Allegedly because you're afraid of me. But this one is a hard one to defend. The comp of the throw to the plate as you're sliding versus getting hit by a pitched, 85-mile-an-hour fastball. I'm glad that Tausch's buddy's son was okay. I also enjoyed that had a very Tom Brenneman feel to it, right? Where he's, I'm so very, very sorry.
Right.
I pride
don't like
myself
that.
on being a man of faith.
There's nothing to do.
There's
does not feel like
I'm
where
not
I
done.
want to be.
No, there's no.
Could have
you
picked
can't bring
somebody
those two
else.
equations.
And
The fact
I'm
that
not
we're
done.
okay,
Stop.
Okay, well,
Because it's not no. Because then he's in the middle of his apology when he says, and there's a drive into deep left field by Castellanos, and Jesse, while he's trying to explain why it's okay to get hit in the head, points out, and there's a foul ball by Smith or whatever he says there. That was the comp.
By the way, foul ball here for Tristan Fry, the number 5 hitter, standing in for Sun Prairie East.
Sometimes you say
No,
stuff.
Yes. No apologies necessary like Tom had to make, but the aside about the foul ball while Tausch is telling you you're an idiot was also enjoyable.
Not sure I'll ever put that headset on again.
Is it better to get hit in the headset or or the you-know-whats? That was great. I would assume that was the low point of the broadcast.
No,
the first inning was by far the
first inning. It's 100% the low point of the broadcast.
Not even close.
Yeah, not even in the ballpark.
So we have some more of the highlights, if that's what I'm supposed to call them. Are there some more moments similar to this one too? Because that I'm all here for that.
There's one or two that we could definitely play if you're interested in such things.
I'm interested. That'll take over Whoa Nelly.
You can watch the full game broadcast back on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. It is there. I think actually we had, because of that gust of wind that blew all my papers away, the top of the first inning got scrubbed from the reel. It's the lost inning. So the action is resumed in the bottom of the first with Sun Prairie East having a 1-0 lead. That's how the game starts on YouTube. So that for some reason, the 20 minutes of the top of the first inning where we had all our disaster, it was scrubbed from the reel.
Oh,
it's gone. I didn't do it. It would just. I think we had an issue on site with the camera almost got tipped, which Tausch doesn't believe, all that stuff. So the top of the first went the way of the white buffalo.
All right. Well, we will hear some more of those highlights during Whoa Nelly next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet, the name you can trust. Whether you're gearing up for a baseball game right down the road, a road trip across the country, or something in between, there's always a lot on your mind as you're getting ready to leave. And trust me, the last thing you want to be concerned about is car trouble. Make sure your vehicle is ready to take on every potential challenge thanks to the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on fun and not finding help for car trouble when you're on the road this summer. Call Zimbrick Chevrolet to schedule an appointment with their incredible service team or check out their services and schedule an appointment online at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's also where you can find their full inventory of available new and used cars, just in case you're ready to start giving them a look. Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture. Experience, knowledge, and results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, One call, that's all.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Bruss talking about our friends at Road America, America's National Park of Speed. Get out of your house this summer and go to Road America, located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake. Come see a race at the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn road circuit that has hosted some of the best races since 1955. Spring Vintage Weekend with the SVRA is up next on May 16th through the 18th. Camp on site all weekend and enjoy free admission for kids 16 and under with a paying adult at the gate. Come for the experience and stay for the race. Get your tickets at roadamerica.com.
Your Pella experience starts with a free in-home consultation.
It was a really comfortable kitchen table chat. We knew Pella was going to get it right the first time, and they designed a project with us. They didn't just replace our windows and doors.
There are so many options that are available, so it was nice to have someone narrow those down, and they made sure that the design was what we wanted.
Don't wait. Get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 5/31/2025.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut, where Cheesy Bites Pizza is back right now. For just $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. And even better, it comes with the Ranch Lover's Flight, featuring 3 bold new dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Hurry in or order online today at pizzahut.com. Only at Pizza Hut. No one outpizzas the Hut.
We're on the Bucks.
This is the greatest player this franchise has had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
And now they might be in a position where they're forced to deal him away.
Madison's home of the Bucks. 100.5 ESPN.
Let's make tonight the weekend. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. Got no reason not to celebrate. Baby, I just don't wanna wait. Tonight's the weekend.
Before we get to more of the highlights from the broadcast on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel of the Cardinals strikeout cancer game, Jesse, I'm just curious, how many chips do we have in the cheese fry helmet for this week's Vortex Golf?
Quite a few in there this week.
Yeah, we had a lot of correct answers. It was a good week.
Mm-hmm. Good week for the contestants. A lot of the a couple of first-time contestants, but also a lot of the wily old veterans coming back to play this week because this prize pack is so good. They might have taken some time off for a while, but they were back in it this week. So we draw our winner for the Vortex Golf Rangefinder and Swag Bag. Triple digits estimated retail price. This is a big prize, and it's coming the way of Jay in Pewaukee, yesterday's contestant.
Oh, I missed it.
He only got 1 question right yesterday.
Wow.
But as you said to another contestant earlier this week, Jason, all you need is 1 to be in. And that's all Jay had, and that's all he needed to win the Vortex Golf
It's like the Mavericks
prize pack.
winning the lottery. Or maybe not.
Kind of, yeah.
Time now for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
What I learned in my experience last night is, number 1, try to avoid calling games outside the press box. And number 2, I think we all should have more appreciation for Matt LePay.
Wow. Wow.
There was a moment when I called a high school football game with Dennis Semrau a few years back that we played on this show where he left me in the dust. There was a touchdown on the far end of the field. Edgewood was wearing jerseys you couldn't read very well.
Oh, I remember this clip.
I said, touchdown Crusaders. Dennis said, did you see who that was? Well, in the bottom of the first inning last night, pivotal moment in the game it turned out to be. Jesse and Tausch on the call.
Feinberg, line drive, left field. It's down for a base hit. Rounding third comes Look. Here's the throw. Cut off, throw home, and they got him by a mile. Beautiful. Down goes Look at home plate, and down goes Middleton in the bottom of the first. The final out made at the plate, trying to stretch home from second. I don't know. I can't tell you.
This.
It might have been Sogstad out there.
Nice job by the left fielder of coming up. I think it was Soggy.
Soggy. Oh, Sogster.
It was Clune.
First inning, and it wasn't even right. Yeah, it was Alex Clune who made the great play out in left field.
Well, that'll be a clip that his family will want to listen to many times.
Mr. Sun Prairie Baseball. I know this team. Hey, who was that out there?
I couldn't tell because the jersey's embroidered. It was so... listen, Jesse, the color guy is going to analyze what's going on. The play-by-play guy's got to know the names. They do. You know that. And you didn't. And I didn't want to put it on you, but you've got to give some love to the guy. He made a great throw. And again, the key, as I said, if you'd have kept letting the analysis go, you have to keep those throws low. You got to keep them low so that they can be cut. Tristan Fry does a nice job at third base. He's got his body turned the right way, so he catches, throws it home to Manny, the catcher, and boom, 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 and a big play in that game. And I'll tell you what, Jesse was obsessed with the wind. The wind and how it affected the throws. He must have mentioned the wind and how much it would help throwing guys out, pitching, at least 100 times in that broadcast.
I don't know if you noticed, it was a significant factor for all involved in the game last night,
including the announcer crew.
I don't know, except for the fact that the catcher was throwing into the wind, and he threw out everybody that stole last night.
Whoa, Nelly!
Did it really have that big of an effect? I don't know, Jim.
What do they say? Not only in broadcast booths, in radio shows, like always be there to cover for your other hosts. You know, if Jason
I've heard that.
has to step away, you want to make sure Tausch is able to riff for a second. If Jason's battling some technical issues, if Tausch disconnects, we're going to continue on without you. Or I don't know, leaves for the trivia segment. We're good, you know? So naturally, I would expect the same from you in our booth last night, right?
Yep.
Didn't get it.
I think because of our positioning here, as this game has gone on, it rained before we got started, and now the dirt is, starting to pick up. No, I'm choking on it. I've been choking for an inning and a half here.
That's good stuff right there. What exactly did you want me to do there? Did you want me to start calling the pitches?
So I could go get the bottle of water.
I said, are you okay? You're gagging on dirt, man. I'm not sure. What the heck did you want me to do?
Provide analysis. Fill some airtime.
So, Jesse, the whole point of this montage, there was some really funny back and forth. Jesse is trying to make himself look good and bring me down in this montage that he's doing. I don't like that, Jesse. I don't like that one bit.
Oh, my gosh.
Don't worry. It wasn't just me. You threw other people under the bus during the broadcast last night as well.
Oh, great. Who else?
Gamboli's still out there on the mound for Sun Prairie East.
Well, Danny Hannon, who is a big-timer in the Sun Prairie youth baseball community, asks, can we position the camera a little higher to get more into the sun, Hunter? So, Dan Hannon from Bristol.
Danny in Bristol's been a great contributor to Wilde and Tausch over the years.
Some constructive feedback, Hunter. And Dan, just I know you're listening, you got flipped off.
You.
What?
Great to have you in the booth last night. That was fun. Everything I expected.
Couldn't you have copied Danny's text to you and then texted it to Hunter instead of saying it on the air?
What do you mean? You know why the
didn't even cross his mind.
Why would I not just say it? I thought it was fun. I mean, there's nothing we could do about it. The sun is where it is. You know, we were pretty limited with what we could do camera-wise. You know what, Jesse? That is not fair because I know Hunter is very sensitive. I am well aware. He might be more sensitive than you and Jason. I tell Hunter does a great job, and I have made sure to tell him that because I believe it.
You mentioned
He
it
is
several
great.
times last night,
Yes.
just not in the fourth inning.
Do we want to be interactive or not? Do we want to talk and listen to our fans, or do we want to ignore them? I want to bring them in. That was what was on the chat that I don't know why I could all of a sudden see the chat last night. I can't during the show,
miracle.
but I could see it last night. Weird, huh?
I'm just glad that you guys did that. Again, if you missed out on the broadcast, you can find it on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. The entirety is there. There are some pretty
Except
funny
the top
moments.
of the first.
Yes, exactly. It was enjoyable. I got a kick out of it, and I appreciate everybody that tuned in and watched it live as well. We need to wrap up the weekend, wrap up the show with Feel Good Friday, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. That's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is our crew.
Yo, one. Daz, a liner into right center field. Down for a base hit. How about the legacy coming through?
Listen to every Brewers game this season on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Mark Tauscher here, and it's another Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints. Stick around to hear some of the best feel-good stories of the week to close out today's show and start the weekend right. And speaking of starting something right, it's one of the best times of the year to get to work on your home's paint project. When you're ready to get started, do what my family did and trust the pro painters at Holman Lindsay Paints. Holman Lindsay is the one paint that can withstand the challenges of Wisconsin's weather year-round. That's why it's truly Wisconsin's best paint. Get connected with the pro painter, best for what your project calls for, by stopping into any Madison area Holman Lindsay location and simply asking a member of the team. Holman Lindsay, great paint, great people, and check them out at holmanlindsay.com. Stick around for Feel Good Friday coming up to close out today's show, painted by Holman Lindsay Paints.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today. Kamari McGee on the podium at UW-Madison's student-athlete grad ceremony. The 3-year Badger guard recollecting on his Madison memories, audio courtesy Badger Athletics.
My first year here was probably the toughest year of my life. After being known as a top player on my previous teams, it was hard adjusting to the new role that I was given. If it were not for the support from my loved ones, teammates, and coaches, I would not be in this position that I'm in today. I hope everyone leaves here proud, and last but not least, on Wisconsin.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Curio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
You gotta get down on Friday. It's time to finish the week off right. It's Feel Good Friday on Wilde and Tausch, painted by Hallman Lindsay.
Born and raised under the
We're going to go long here. Time for Feel Good Friday, painted by Hallman Lindsay Paints. We start with Tausch and the game that he and Jesse called yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun. Jesse and I, we had a lot of laughs out there, and it was one of the things I love about high school sports is the community. It brings everybody together, and you have Middleton and Sun Prairie who are big-time rivals. Doesn't matter what sport. The Cards want to beat the Cards. That's just how this goes. And I love the fact they, a while ago, decided to come together and to have this game. They alternate, so next year Sun Prairie will host, and they, as a group, come together. They work together. They get auction items, and they raise money for cancer research. I love that. It is everything that's great about sports. So kudos to the Sun Prairie and Middleton communities for doing this year in and year out.
Amen. Two quick things from me. One, speaking of auctions, casting4kids.org. Our friend Marco Siki has his annual event to support UW Carbone Cancer Center and the AmFam Children's Hospital. Casting4kids.org. You can bid on some of the items that are still there and obviously get out on a boat. And secondly, congratulations and thank you for your service to Brian Anderson. I was watching him and Stan Van Gundy call his last game of an NBA season because obviously the NBA is leaving TNT. That means we get more Brian Anderson and we'll get him at Roland Garros, which obviously our tennis correspondent Mark Tauscher will get to enjoy.
Can he do Cardinals versus Cancer next week?
Would he like to do it with Tausch and be interrupted by him? That's it for us today. We will be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show.